Hey everyone, and welcome to Comics from the Multiverse, the DC Comics podcast from Mild Fuzz TV. I am Peter, and I am joined, as always, with Matt.
Hey, what's up, people?
Also, look who's back. Connor's back. Back again.
Back again.
Matt got what I was doing there.
I got it, I just refused to go along.
Why? Be a team player. Be a team player, Connor.
See, I would if it was Matt's joke, but it was yours, so...
Anyway, we talk about DC Comics on this show, and coming up this week on the show, we will be talking about Batman, the Merciless #1, which is the Next Metal one-shot. We'll also be talking about the Flash #33, which is the first part of the Next Metal crossover, called Bat Set of Hell. That's a 4-issue crossover that starts with that issue. We also have Detective Comics 967, the next part in A Lonely Place in Living. Action Comics 990, the next part in The Oz Effect. I knew it was an important story, I just tried to remember it.
Yeah.
Plus Wonder Woman 33, Batgirl 16, Teen Titans 13, Nightwing The New Order #3. Matt will talk about some of DC's House of Horror #1 one-shot.
Yeah, I pulled out losing straw.
Yeah, more on that later. And, of course, Connor has this month's Red Hood still to do. It's the last show of the month, so Connor will be talking about Red Hood and the Outlaws #11 at the end of the show.
It was due, so I guess I had to.
I guess I had to. I mean,
Yeah.
All right, so that's what's happening.
You sound like someone has to pay their taxes.
I know, it really does.
I really don't want to, but I have to.
It's like, can I go to the dentist instead?
See, the thing is, I don't mind paying my taxes, because it's like, okay, I get what taxes are for. There's a benefit to that. Reading Red Hood it's just a chore.
Oh man, I need more people like you in the world there, Connor. I never thought I'd say that.
I don't. Come on now. Also, before we get into the actual stuff, a couple of bits of news. One thing, I missed this last week. We talked about solicits last week, Matt, and I forgot to talk about probably the most interesting thing in the entire solicits, which we have the first official cancellation of a DC book.
Yeah.
Last week, which is a Superwoman, which is going to end with issue 18. We completely forgot to talk about it, and we should talk about that because this is the first time it's happened. This is quite notable. First time it's happened since Rebirth, not ever, obviously. So yeah, we kind of knew it was coming. It had been heavily rumoured. It's a little disappointing because it was starting to get, enjoyable. Maybe not the best book ever, but I was enjoying the last few issues I've read of it. Obviously, we've not been covering that on week 2s anymore, just for time reasons. I think when the final issue comes out, I probably will take a little bit of time to talk about it, just because it's ending, and just sort of wrap it up when that hits. But so it's a shame, but not unexpected, and it had to happen at some point.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's one of those that had a creative team change quite early on. The premise of the book kind of swapped with its direction there, so I'm not too surprised. They didn't really know what to do with it beyond the initial gimmick. It feels like.
I just hope Lana and Co end up maybe in Action Comics regularly or somewhere else, because I do like the character and I want her to stick around.
Yeah, that's true. We got a team change on Blue Beetle as well, right?
We did, yeah, which is actually, funnily enough, the other book that was on the chopping block.
Yeah, that's why I'm like a lot of them say it feels like what they did with Superwoman was like, well, we don't want to end it yet. We'll give it another try with someone else.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're doing the same thing with Blue Beetle, going, hey, okay, we'll give someone else a shot, see if they can give it, and then maybe give them 8-10 issues, whatever, and then if it's not working out still. And
it's worth mentioning that, remember the tweet, we talked about this when it happened, but like a month or so ago, Jean Ling Yang for New Superman, he tweeted out that issue 18 was meant to be the final issue of that series, and now it's not. So it seems like, at least in that case, it's a positive news, where they recognised, there's even if it's not about comic sales, maybe it's not selling like hotcakes. From an editorial point of view, from a creative point of view, they want that to keep going because it gives it's a niche that maybe has not been filled elsewhere.
I'd also say it might be that the trade sales have done better than expected, given that the timing. It feels like okay.
And I think a lot of word of mouth as well when it comes to that book. Versus, I don't hear too many people talking about Superwoman or even Blue Beetle.
No, I have to go back to my shop when number 1 of that book came out. They intentionally overordered because they were like, no, this is going to be a big thing. And people are going to want to read this at some point, so they made sure they'd all have enough to last like a year when people come back in from word of mouth.
And to be fair, if you told me you have to axe either Superwoman or New Superman, I would have picked Superwoman to be axed because New Superman is the better book. But
it's kind of shaky after that initial, I want to say first 3 issues. It was kind of shaky for me up until the writer change, and then I started enjoying it again. But again, for time. I haven't had time to read it. So, but like Pete said, I hope they can find somewhere to fit them in because I like the idea of a super family. This is for the first time I've really felt like there's been one.
Yeah. I think action can maybe become that, kind of like how Detective is for Batman, where all those characters get a chance to share a book together, and I think that'd be cool. So, and then the other thing, this is actually some movie-related news, but it's too big to ignore this week. Is that we have a Shazam, apparently. Captain Marvel has been cast. Zachary Levi.
Check himself.
It's funny, I never considered him, but I'm actually really happy just because I like him a lot. I'm a big fan of Chuck, and I'm happy that he gets to get a lead role in a big movie. I'm actually happy for that reason more than I am anything else.
And he's a genuine fan of comics and the nerd culture as well. He does stuff every year down at Comic-Con. I forget what the name of it. He has a company.
Yeah, he does. It's balls. I can't remember that. And they do really great panels every year.
I've seen some. I've seen some of them. They always have the videos up online. You can watch them. He always hosts them. It should be called a Nerd Herd, but it won't be. But it should be.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was Nerd something, right?
Nerd HQ.
Nerd HQ.
I think it's Nerd HQ.
There might be. Look at you guys. Teamwork makes the dream work. So I tell the kids at school. They hate me for it. I get the same reaction that I got from you guys.
That means it's you. It's not them, Matt. It's you.
Yes, I know. So I say consistency. It's fine. But yeah, I definitely think that they're going with this version of Shazam. It's the kid in the adult body. I don't think they're gonna do the swap, like Billy goes into the pocket dimension and Marvel comes out and they're two distinct people.
I think that's why you cast someone who's good with comedy, because you want it to be the kid in the guy's body. That's why you do that. They should get someone from Stranger Things actually to be the kid. Get one of them.
That'd be cool.
Get a little Wolfhard or whatever his name is.
Can tell what you're watching right now, can't you?
Yeah. Hey, it's the hip happening thing this weekend, all right? Everyone's watching Stranger Things.
Much more
you say
into...
that, but I'm enjoying Mario more.
Yeah.
Well, suck it, you Nintendo. Don't.
That
was awful.
That was good. That was for anyone who doesn't get that reference. That is what the Sega ads used to say at the end of their ads back in the 90s. Was Sega does what Nintendo don't, and it stuck with me.
But yeah, you guys sidetracked. Oh no, I prefer Dustin from Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Dustin's good.
He's pretty funny. He's kind of coming into his own. I saw him on a talk show, and he's had a growth spurt, and he's almost gangly now. And
he's
and
6 foot tall.
Yeah, I don't know if he's 6 foot tall, but he's not this little chubby squat kid that he was on season 1. So
he's getting bigger.
Or even one of the kids from it. There's so many to pull from. I think right now this is almost the perfect time.
It's kind of funny how for a long time I couldn't have named you one kid actor that I liked, and all of a sudden now that we've got a couple of things that have given us a nice little truckload of them here. Yeah. There's good ones out there. Use them.
It's like they all popped out at once.
Yeah, they did.
It's a generational thing, but
it must be.
And then the director did what did he do? Annabelle Creation and Lights Out. So
yeah. I can't remember his name. Sandberg, David F. Sandberg. That's his name.
Yeah, there you go. So, it's coming together nice, and I like that the new, don't call it the DCEU, approach.
Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah. I feel like Johns finally has his hooks in and is like, look, we're going to do this. Wow, we should have done it. We can cross over if we must, but let's not do what Marvel does. Let's not chase that. Let's do our own thing. And I think Shazam's going to be that beacon.
Yeah, I think Shazam will be fairly standalone. Obviously, it might pop up in other things, but I feel like that movie's going to be its own thing.
Because I know Aquaman's coming out first, but with him being so tied into this Justice League
How
movie.
insane is it we're getting Shazam and Aquaman before Flash and Green Lantern? How insane is that?
That is, and do you know what else it's like? I saw this Justice League is tracking to open to less than Suicide Squad. That just shows you how much goodwill they've squandered.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah,
that's what always comes up. It's like whenever they do something really crummy. It's the same with video games. Whenever they do something really shitty, is that you do something really bad, right? But they still do really well for that thing that you're promoting right now. When you notice it is when you do the following thing, and people sort of they don't come back for the next one because they've already felt squandered on it.
When the business is good, you can do no wrong. When the business is bad, you can do no right. And it's this idea that it just kind of it lingers and it just stays and stays, and it's like until you really break out of it and go into the next cycle. That's it. No matter what you do, really.
Yeah. So, but we'll see.
Yeah, I just wanted to say too, like Gal Gadot recently came out this week, and there's that whole line in Batman vs Superman that she's given up on mankind, but at the end of Wonder Woman,
I saw this.
Completely different, and she's like, "Yeah, we changed it. It's just more in line with who Wonder Woman really is as a character," which I felt was a backhanded thing at Snyder. Kind of like this guy didn't know the characters as well as he thought he did. And now we're fixing this. And
it was like, yeah, no, we this was better.
Yeah, she basically admitted it was a poor choice creatively to make that call. So
when you have one of your prime stars of this that's coming out and saying these things openly, you feel like a new door has been opened. Since
we're on the subject of the movies, I mean, we may as well bring up the runtime of Justice League, which we've heard about, which is I don't have it.
Guys.
I don't have it to the minute. It's like an hour 57 or something. Like that. So it's 2 hours, right? It's a 2 hour movie. And there's people online actually like, what? It's only 2 hours? No, like give me 3 hours.
No. I get it though, because it's like there's so much that's got to be done to make this work that I feel that you kind of go, okay, how are they going to do this in 2 hours?
This is what happens when you take shortcuts, though. Is it ends up with a mess like this. And they took shortcuts. They tried to make Batman vs Superman be that, and it wasn't. And yeah, now it was supposed to be 2 movies, and I guess the original runtime for part 1 was still up there, like 2 hours 45. So the fact that they've consolidated 2 movies worth of stuff to 2 hours, it makes me wonder, But at the same time, I trust Whedon.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad because it's gonna go. Okay, it's gonna move quick. Yeah. But I'm like, okay, but how? Like, surely it's going to feel like there's going to be something missing.
Yep.
Maybe. I think that's maybe jumping the gun a little bit in terms of critiquing it, because I feel like I'd much rather have a tighter 2 hour movie that doesn't mess around and just meander like Batman v Superman did. I mean, I don't get me wrong, I get the argument that there's so many characters and stuff, but it's like, you know what? Maybe we just don't have to set a lot of them up. Maybe they'll just be there, and that's kind of...
Yeah, well, I feel like really, the only one you need to set up right now with the public conscience is Cyborg, because people have a cursory knowledge of Flash now with the show being what it is. Like, I see more Flash shirts now out
Flash
in the general
runs
public.
fast. No one needs to know any more than that.
Well, yeah, and
that's enough to get you by for a movie.
Yeah, but I feel like in a lot of the TV spots that I've seen or the trailers I've been forced to watch at the theater, that they're giving us a pretty good example of who these characters are early on. Like, I feel like Aquaman's like the big macho guy, and that's what we're getting. And then Flash is the quippy, runs fast guy. And we already have Wonder Woman and Batman. Like, we're familiar with those 2 enough. So, yeah, I don't know. That movie, man.
Yeah, I will say we heard the first bit of the music this week, and I hate it. That's it. I just don't like it.
I wouldn't
play the
say,
sad trombone.
Yeah, I would. Well, there was 2 tracks that went online from the score. The main one I think is fine, but not particularly great. It's okay. It's serviceable. I don't like it particularly, but it's fine.
It's not. It's Elfman doing Elfman with some drums in to cover it, so he sounds like Zimmer, so it sounds consistent, but it doesn't at all.
The second track was way more Elfman to me, and I didn't like that one that much. Especially since, I don't know if you heard this, but it actually has the Superman theme in it, and it sounds really out of place. It's like this demented version of it to make it fit with what's going on.
Also, in that piece,
he's
using his old Batman theme.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, okay, I like that piece of music. I like it in context with that movie.
Yeah.
It's not going to work for this Batman. What's going on?
But that's the thing. Burton's Batman was very operatic. Like it borrowed from that, and that's why he has this big bombastic. And I love it. It fits with the animated series like perfectly.
Yeah.
But yeah, with this Batman, which is more, it should be more Zimmer than Elfman, and it's so weird. Like this is the choices.
That's maybe a controversial statement, but Shirley Walker's Batman music from the animated series is much better than Elfman's. Fight me on it.
That's fine. But
I like
I mean,
that.
they used. Yeah, but I mean, they used the Elfman template, like, and
Yeah, it's
adapted
still in the style of Elfman's pieces. It's so it doesn't contrast with them. They still sound like they work together. Whereas
I'll still just say that Danny Elfman's best contributions are from Oingo Boingo.
no, his
Dead Man's
best
Party.
contribution is the Simpsons theme tune.
Maybe. I like Dead Man's Party a little bit more than The Simpsons.
Maybe Nightmare Before Christmas. That's pretty good, to be fair. This is the thing. I think his stuff works really well in context of that operatic gothic stuff that
Tim Burton
that's basically
shite.
Tim Burton. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think his music works excellently with that, but outside of that, not so much.
Yeah, I'm not an Elfman fan. I could have picked just about any other composer instead of him, and I'd have felt better about it. But
I have a
hey-ho.
very poor choice joke about a composer that passed that I would take, but I'm not going to make it.
What sort of dark joke would you want to make about a dead
I'll
composer?
say it. I would prefer the music that, was it, who recently just died? That's why I didn't make it, because I couldn't figure out which one just died. They all blend together to me. Was it...
I don't know. I don't think.
I don't know what.
Did
what
any
you're on
composer
There's
just
like
die?
Not just die, but it's been with the last, 6 months. Who... Let's just move on. I was going to say, I prefer their score right now to what you guys are saying about Elfman's
What, Silence?
Justice League. Never mind.
Sure, that is a big problem with Elfman. He doesn't know
Yeah.
how to do silence.
No.
There's so much
Which
music
is
in every movie.
Do you know
that
the
does.
funny thing is though? I'm not a composer. I can do the silence. I know how to do silence. It's easy. You just don't do anything.
I know. But he
I can't do
insists
silence.
on
I'm like Danny Elfman. I don't get it. I hate it.
Dear. So to sum up, we have a 2-hour runtime for Justice League. Whedon's been taking the scissors to it, and obviously reshot like a lot of it as well. So hopefully we end up with some sort of workable concoction, even though it'll probably be.
This is going to be a hell of a Frankenstein, isn't it?
It'll be.
Yep.
It'll either be a fascinating failure, or it'll be amazing if it ends up being. I can't ever see it being amazing, but I can see it being like enjoyable but rough.
If I come out of this and saying this was a good movie, if I can give it a 7 out of 10,
Right.
then they've worked miracles.
I just always put it this way: nothing will ever be as bad as Trank's Fantastic Four. So, that's the low line. That's.
I mean, if we're just talking superhero movies, sure, but you didn't see the Bye Bye Man this year, Matt. So don't.
No, I'm comparing it within the genre.
Okay.
I think that is one of, if not the worst superhero movie ever, because it doesn't have all the acts. There's ones in the 90s that are worse in terms of when you're watching this, you're like, oh my god, this is so bad.
they're not. At least there's even the first Daredevil movie. There's so many layers of cheese, but it's still somewhat watchable. I'll watch it on cable.
It's a bad
I don't hate
movie,
it.
but it has 3 acts.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a bad movie, but it has 3 acts.
Yeah, and even
it's
some of the
already
worst,
better.
even Batman Forever and Batman and Robin are still there's some fun to it. Whereas I feel like some of these more recent ones that are trying to be too serious, like Fantastic Four, or even Batman vs Superman, they're not fun. They're dreadful. Ugh, I can't believe I'm watching this.
Yeah, although I'm really starting to hate the word fun because I feel like people can't review a Marvel movie without talking about how fun it is, and it's starting to irk me off because it's just let's ignore all the complaints because it's fun, and no.
See,
Well,
that's
Doctor
okay.
Strange though, not so fun.
No, Doctor Strange was not fun. I don't think that was fun.
Yeah, I don't mind it being fun if it's all it's going to be. If it's aiming just to be fun, then sure, it's
No,
fun.
I'm not saying there's a
plot.
I'm not saying there's a problem with being fun. I'm saying it's a problem ignoring other complaints or ignoring other things. And
I can't wait to see Thor Ragnarok and come back to review it and start everything else. Well, that was fun.
my
find it.
my complaint is not that movie's fun. I like fun movies. My complaint is that it's used as a blanket statement to actually not actually talk about what works and why it works or whatever.
Yeah, but if something doesn't work, but at least you're having fun with it, at least you have that to fall back on. It's like a safety net, you know? Like Guardians of the Galaxy, it's beyond fun, but I think for the average person, like, that's what appeals to them.
Do you know my problem is?
So
The word fun has
character
become the
dynamics.
opposite of the word boring. Boring is just the thing you say when you have nothing else to say about it. Oh, it was just boring. I don't want to, like, you know, that's what people say when they don't like a movie and they don't know how to talk about it. It's, oh, it was just boring. And that's all they say. Now, sometimes a movie can be just boring. It can be, but the regular
I feel like that's
public...
a shot against me for Under the Skin, Pete.
I didn't mean that, but yeah, take it. Yeah, take the hit. I'm happy to throw it out there.
There you go.
He gets to watch
That's not comics, guys. We've digressed, and that's my fault.
We have. Yeah. So yeah, this is the final point I was making there. Is that fun is the positive version of boring now for the layman? Is what I was trying to get at. So.
Well, Pete's neither fun nor boring, so let's talk comics.
I'm something in between. All right, comic books. We start with the first metal one shot. Not the first metal one shot. The first book of the day is the metal one shot.
There you go.
Which is Batman the Merciless #1. Peter J. Tomasi writing, Francis Manapul on art. This is the Wonder Woman focused Batman, evil Batman, and we find out that on Earth -12, I might say, was it 12?
Yep.
Yeah.
Basically, this Batman was actually closer to Wonder Woman. They seemed to be in love or in a relationship or something along those lines. And it was losing her, and despite her best warnings, Batman takes Ares' helmet and puts it on, which corrupts him and amplifies everything that Batman is to this ridiculous level of war. And the big dark twist at the end is that it turns out Wonder Woman didn't actually die, but he already had the helmet on, so he just finished the job.
Because he, like in all these dark versions, he can do better than that hero. And that's what does it, is like, she wasn't dead. So this whole issue makes you to believe, like this wasn't a decision he made lightly. Like, he took this on himself and shouldered it because nobody else could. But then when you get to the end and get to that twist, he basically, kills Wonder Woman so he can take the helm.
Yeah, he says, he kind of admits how selfish he was. He's like, no, you tried to take this from me. This is mine. I will do whatever I have to keep it.
Yeah. And this has so far been my favorite of the... I'm just going to drop that.
No, definitely. Plus, I think, it kind of breaks up the formula.
Mm-hmm.
And two,
big time.
Manapul.
Yeah, and I forgot Manapul was doing the art till I opened it. And I was like, oh, yes. Okay. Points. And then the story that happens just with... You're getting all the meeting of the minds of, like Shade, who I haven't seen Shade forever.
Yeah,
Argus.
And Earth Zero, just to clarify this, because we've jumped over into the Earth at present day. So Earth Zero, so regular Earth, present day. We've got Waller, we've got Steve Trevor. You got what's the
Sam Lane.
Yeah, Sam Lane, but who's the girl from Shade again? Because it's not actually Geralt, it's the old man, right?
Father Time.
There you go.
Mr. Bones from the DEO.
Mr. Bones, yeah, which was set up in Supergirl, so that's cool. So they're all around the table, they're trying to talk about what's going on with metal and the fact that all the cities are falling, what do we do? We've got some weapon. And when was the last time we heard about Cowgirl, Matt, from Green Lantern?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, speaking of people who we haven't seen in a while.
Jesus.
Yep, and which we talked about last week, about in a book, how in Green Lanterns that John's a supporting cast for Hal kind of have all disappeared, and then here's Cowgirl showing up with Ferris, to drop a bomb.
Yeah, because they're like,
so really
we've got this experimental nuke that'll hit metahumans and everyone else, even Kryptonians aren't safe from this, and like they're on the plane going to drop it, and so yeah, basically the Merciless Batman attacks Langley and is coming for this round table. He's going through all the soldiers to get to them. And it's sort of this countdown, and they're like, oh, we have to drop the bomb, even if we die, this is for the greater good, and all the rest of it, and that's kind of the fight. And Steve Trevor's trying to talk them out of it, because it's, a giant, huge-ass bomb that's going to, like, cause a lot of collateral damage.
It's kind of Steve Trevor's thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. But, Waller's like, no, kill 1 million to save billions, it makes sense, Trevor, shut up.
I actually realised that Steve's involved in the Wonder Woman one of these.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Especially when, Merciless has got him by the neck at the end of the issue, and it's kind of like, yeah, I used to be like you, infatuated with her, but now I'm better. And this world's going to burn in, multiverse, dark multiverse, blah, 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 blah. Barbatos is coming, hail the king, and all that jazz.
Man, and all these Batmans, he looks so cool. Like, just the armor. He looks like... I'm surprised that he didn't put together sooner that he's Ares in Batman form.
Yeah, because once you know that and you look at him, you go, oh yeah, it does kind of look like Batman Ares mashup.
Yeah. And it fits, too, with Batman's mission statement of, this is his war. Like, we've heard it, time and time again. And I didn't count on the Wonder Woman one, actually him losing Wonder Woman. I figured they would have done the, whole side character, someone close to him. But the fact that they made it Wonder Woman and tied it into the whole mythological approach, I really liked.
Those Wonder Bat shippers are going to be freaking out over this issue.
Yeah,
they'll want this Earth. I don't love it as much as you. I was going to say.
Side note. Go on.
I don't love it as much as you two do. It's not my favourite of the one shots.
What is?
Red Death.
Maybe Murder Machine. I like those two more than this one.
Of course.
Of
course, the robot likes the machine.
But this was better than the last two. No, I mean I liked it. I wasn't like when you said, "Oh, this was my favourite of these." Like when you messaged that to me, I was like, "Really? Okay."
I like this one a lot. I liked more often. I liked this Batman. It made sense. I feel like Tomasi really built the character. Besides, it was just like in Dawnbreaker, he lost his parents and takes out the Green Lantern Corps, or in the Drowned, wages this war against the Atlanteans. Here it's just like, no, he made a tough decision, and now he's living with it, and that's what's motivated everything going forward.
I think this one just does the most beyond just for the whatever Batman it is of the issue. Like, this one gives us context for the overall stuff. We get the stuff with the round table. We get all these side bits. It isn't the formula of just evil version of whatever.
Honestly, like everything you're saying is making sense to me. I just at the end of it, I was like, yeah, it was fine. It was good, and I didn't feel as enthusiastic about it. I agree with everything you're saying. I like getting the context. I like, this is what the regular human army are trying to figure out whilst all this is going on and all that stuff. I liked all that. I just didn't love it for whatever reason.
And the way that he tied in the name of the Merciless, because he's gonna fight without mercy now. I thought that was cool. We've got some really rough Superman issues from Tomasi in the last 6 months. So it's like, oh, good, he's got his fastball back. He's throwing 98 again. So it was.
I can see it. I think it's because I'm not. I mean, I like Manapul's art, but I'm not as in love with it as you two are. You two fawn over Manapul.
Because it's great.
Because he's one of the best artists in the business.
Exactly.
He's good. I like him. But I think that's maybe part of why I don't love this one quite as much as you two do. Is I'm sure for you two this was like a visual treat that you've been waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
That helps, but even just from the script stuff, I still think it's better than all the others.
No, fair enough. Yeah. Again, I have nothing to really argue with you. That's just how I feel. I just got to the end of it. I was like, it was good. It's fine. But just wasn't as in love with it as you two guys were.
And by the way, I forgot to mention, because I read this early, so I'm just reviewing it right now as I'm looking through it. The bomb was called Valhalla, which is the Norse, which is the Norse Hall of Heroes. Where you die in battle, you go sit with Odin. So this is the bomb that can take out everybody, even the heroes. I thought that was a nice touch.
Take me to Valhalla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Aye.
Just had a thought on the. We sometimes talk about the soundtrack for metal.
Yeah.
About picking songs when Barbatos appears. I want Avenged Sevenfold's "Hail to the King."
Yeah.
And of course, you got to have Bat Country in there somewhere.
Of course, because of bats.
Yeah.
If I knew that song, I would agree or disagree, but I do not. So.
Which one? Bat Country?
No, the Avenged Sevenfold one.
Or Hail to the King?
They're both Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh, in that case, I know. Yeah. Bat Country sounded more familiar, but.
Yeah, so Hail to the King is very... If you've watched any wrestling with Triple H in the last year, they've used it. It's his whole character. Hail to the King and whatnot. But I agree, Connor.
28 minutes till Matt made a wrestling reference just to alienate Connor.
I had to. But yeah, I agree there.
He was just giving context.
Avenged Sevenfold is that type of metal, too, that is big, loud, in your face. Yeah. And this, I feel, is back to being in your face in a good way. Whereas the other ones were just, at least to me, the last two were kind of like, hey, look at evil Batman, look how terrible this is.
I mean...
Oh, the last two were
that's
definitely
when I
weaker.
felt it.
Yeah, the last two were definitely weaker. I'm not going to dispute that at all.
at the
No,
end
no.
of this issue, you have Ares Batman holding up Steve Trevor with the other round tables praying to him, and then that big lightning bolt behind him. It's like, yeah, okay, this is metal.
Metal. Right there. Well, and two, the effect of his presence there makes them all start fighting. And Steve's kind of like, what's going on? I like that, too, because it shows that this Batman has that presence because he is a god of war.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like, well, how bad is Barbados, however we're going to pronounce it, like that he was able to get a god of war onto his side. So, yeah, I haven't had that feeling since the Murder Machine, where when it ended, I was like, oh, okay, that was cool. So, and yeah, it is a feeling. It's hard to explain. Just like,
yeah, I think it's just a weird thing where we had two good ones, then the two weaker ones, then we're back to a good one again. Like it's just the way it's worked out in terms of the order.
As much as I hate evil Superman, I'm all for the Devastator with Jurgens because so we'll see how that one goes. We'll see. Is
that next? Is that the next one?
I think so because the Batman Who Laughs is last.
That's last, yeah.
Yeah. So whenever it comes out, whether it's this week, which I don't think it is this week.
I guess we don't have much left then. Is it just Devastator then Man Who Laughs? It might be.
I think it is just those two, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm just losing track of how many we've got left. But that's fair.
Nope, yep, Devastator's out this week. And that's, of course, the Superman one where he...
I like how it's kind of, in that sense, it's building. So you start off with, Flash, Cyborg, whatever. And then by the end, we're at Wonder Woman and Superman. And then obviously we end with like the Batman one.
The Joker Batman one.
Yeah. But so that's the one that's tied to Batman's corner.
Yeah, himself.
Oh, sure, yeah. Oh, just because they're all Batman ones, technically.
No, yeah.
I think it's. I think we're spending less time talking about these as we go because they keep kind of like as much as this did break the formula, but we have a real sort of strong idea of what these are now as we keep going into them. So that's Batman the Merciless. That'll take us on to The Flash, number 33, Joshua Williamson writing and Howard Porter on art. This is the first part of the Bats Out of Hell crossover, which is a metal tie-in story. It starts, in fact, with something from the last pages of the regular metal book, which was the Flash round the tuning fork to get Superman into the Dark Multiverse. So we kind of pick off there, which is the first thing I want to compliment, just the event as a whole, is how well they've planned these out in terms of timelines, so that we have these things spinning out of each other at the right time. And
yeah, and obviously because there was some delays, I know Snyder posted like an updated version of the checklist.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
So like they've compensated for everything.
That's cool.
You can tell that Tynion and Williamson are very much steeped with what's going on with Snyder on this. Like I feel like Tynion and Williamson are those go-to guys for editorial right now. Like you can trust them to tie stuff together, and it hasn't felt like that in a while at DC. Like we had the four that did 52, which was Rucka, Wade, Johns, and Morrison. Yeah. So it feels like that, just with lesser people, because there's these two.
Morrison's actually involved on one of these now, I believe. I think.
Yeah,
the last one.
Yeah, the new one shot that got announced last week. He's now co-writing on in like February, I want to say, was when it's coming out.
Yeah,
sounds about right.
Which I'm just wondering how much he has to do with it, or if he's just kind of in a consultation kind of role, because it seems like his. Yeah, seems like a Morrison-y concept. So.
That's probably why he's joining in. He's like, hey, I want to get involved in this. This is kind of like one of my things.
Well, and it almost makes me wonder, because he hasn't, he's been busy since he, stopped writing superhero comics a couple of years ago. So I almost wonder if this opens the door for him to maybe want to come back.
I mean,
he's doing Wonder Woman Earth 2, Volume 2 soon. So
yeah, he's still working on that.
Yeah, but I'm talking like more, along the continuity lines.
Oh right, maybe
in that sandbox versus his.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So we pick up right after that, and Flash is sort of narrating and doing his thing, and he's with Steel, and he's talking to the Justice League members who have all split up, because Aquaman's with Deathstroke, Green Lantern's in space with the egg, the Plastic Man egg, and all the others that split up. So it's kind of like, obviously we might be going off with Superman and Batman in the main book. This is kind of going to be what all the rest of the Justice League are doing.
The side quest
with their mission. Yeah. But of course, basically what happens in this issue is it's actually quite straight. When I actually stopped and looked at the whole issue after I'd finished, it's like, okay, it takes a long time to do it all because it's like going into their heads and it's like the fear of what's happening. But what essentially happens is the evil Batman, like sort of kidnap all of them. Comes after Flash as well. Two of them come after Flash. He ends up getting to Central City. He runs into like weird, like aged up Iris because of everything that's going on in Central City right now. And then he's taken, and we see that basically the idea is that the Tower of Babel protocol, which is where Batman had ideas how to take out all the Justice League members. All of these 7 evil Bruce Waynes, or / Bryce Wayne, have gotten together and devised the best plan to take out these 4 key members of the Justice League, those being Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Flash, and Hal. And they seem to have been put all into their own weird nightmare rooms where they're going to have to face off their counterpart, evil Batman.
Well,
and that's kind of
it's the bat caves of each Batman from those dark...
Yeah, but are they actually in the Dark Multiverse, like in these different worlds?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think they've just recreated their own caves on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So because they're each representative of that character, it's going to make them, have to face themselves as well as Batman, which I like. And there's that page too, is when they get Barry. And you see like all the stuff that's happened over the course of the Rebirth book. And then there's him in the Anti-Monitor armor, which I thought was like, okay, well, is this a thing to come?
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And then also him standing over both Wallies. Like, is that a tease of the Flash War?
Yeah.
There's so much going on here that's not just metal related. And that's what I like. Like,
I'm not a big fan of this issue. I like it in theory, the things it's doing I like, but I don't think it reads very well. I think it's really far too dense, far too wordy, and I think I really don't like the art that much.
I can't argue with those. I think that's more of a taste thing than because I enjoyed it a lot.
I liked it as well. I enjoyed the art.
Yeah,
I would say.
It's hard. Porter doing dark stuff again. It matched. I think it matched the tone of the Thawne stuff when he went to the future. So, in here too with Steel, I like. Oh,
I bet you loved his line of dialogue here.
I wasn't even gonna bring it up. I was gonna say I like that these two science-minded guys are the ones that are working.
Yeah, when the evil the evil Batman show up, Steel says, "I never liked Batman." And Barry quite rightly jumps in and says, "You just need to get to know him."
Yeah.
That's all.
And you have 2 chances right now, and I love that. He's the hopeless... Like, for all this talk about Superman and hope, and that's what that S stands for and all this, it's really Barry Allen that's the most hopeful out of all of the heroes. Because he's looking at these evil Batmen come in, he's like, hey, you get a chance to know these two. Like, he makes a joke out of it. So...
Yeah.
But no, I just...
Worth mentioning, the Devastator destroys the tuning fork. He goes straight in for it. He's wrecking shit. I know. It's dire stuff. It was basically pretty simple in that sense. It's basically all setting up that they're on these like sort of traps. And I like it. It's basically like the Dark Batman and Barbados are basically saying, right, okay, we've got Batman and Superman out of the picture. Here's the next 4 main members of the league. Let's take them out of the picture and let's deal with them. And that's what this story seems to be about. I wonder whether or not we're going to get them actually going after the nth metals and stuff as well in this mini. I'm not sure, or not mini, but crossover.
It feels like somewhere else because this is it's the Justice League versus the Dark Batman. So it feels like we will stay with these separated characters. Yeah.
Maybe they'll get back on track by the end of it, and then we'll get them actually hunting down the nth metal and stuff back in the main book. When we get there.
We have, who's the other ones? Deathstroke, Kendra Saunders, Fate, and Steel. So, that's a B team if I've ever heard one. I like that though. There's another reference I want to talk upon. That's in line with.
Yeah, I know what you want to talk about. There's a name drop in here.
We all know what Matt wants to talk about.
Big name drop.
Big name drop. So it's what Batman is it that says this?
It's the Murder Machine.
It's the Murder Machine.
He's trying to. So he comes in, he's facing Flash, and he's trying to figure out which Flash it is. And he's like, well, it's not Wally West and it's not Bart Allen, which means even in the Dark Multiverse, these characters exist. So what the hell happened in Rebirth that has wiped out this lost generation of Titans?
I wonder if Connor Kent exists in the Dark Multiverse.
Probably.
Maybe we'll get a reference in Devastator.
Yeah.
So,
Something.
and so this Connor character that Matt keeps talking about. So he exists in the
He's
dark
real now. You
multiverse.
can't keep making this joke.
He exists in
Damn
the
it,
dark.
you're not Tim Drake.
He exists in the dark multiverse where those worlds are just designed to die because they're not meant to be real. I'm getting you now. I'm getting you. He's not meant to exist. That's quite right.
I'm gonna strangle you right now.
But
I said you to the dark multiverse.
I don't think it's not a coincidence though that we've had a Bart mention and we've had a couple of Connor mentions in the last couple of weeks. I think it feels meaningful.
Yeah. Last time I said something like that about a couple of references all at once. It's paid off. So
We'll get to Detective Connor. You shut your face right now. We're getting there.
But yeah, so and it's Williamson, and that's why I brought up like he seems to be in line with Tynion. Like Tynion's the other guy that's doing this, so I kind of feel like John's or Snyder's kind of pulled them aside, going here's what we have planned later, and let's seed these two out, even if it's
if we get
2 years down the line.
If we get a Cassie reference in Wonder Woman soon, then we need to start to be like, okay, something's going on here.
Well, and then Otto Schmidt, which this is another character we don't talk about ever.
Otto Schmidt.
I don't know how we feel about him. Yeah, he did a sketch of Connor Hawk, Green Arrow, who, for those that don't know,
that's because the reason why I questioned what you said there, because you said this is another character we don't talk about. I'm like, what do you mean Otto Schmidt?
Yeah.
As if he was a character. I'm like, what? You mean the artist?
No. We talk about Schmidt all the time. But Green Arrow died in the mid '90s. Oliver Queen, and he was replaced by a character who is Oliver Queen in Shadow's son, named Connor Hawk. And he was
That's the Connor you've been talking about all these months. That Connor, yeah, he's coming back.
It's spelled differently. This one spelled like our Connors.
Connor Hawk coming back. Tim's going to find him.
What?
I'm saying it now. Tim's going to find Connor Hawk.
Yeah. Well. I hate you so much. You're sidetracking me. But he did a sketch just for fun, and I just feel like there's these characters that fans are attached to, and now DC, instead of ignoring them like they did with Wally West for all those years, or Stephanie Brown for all those years,
I think it's especially because we're talking about, Tynion and Williamson. They're the young new guys. They're the ones who are the fans of these characters. So they're the ones who want to bring them back.
All of our age. So if they were reading comics before they were writing comics, they were reading them when we were.
Which is fairly likely. I feel like most people who write comics probably read a few of them beforehand.
Yeah. So, and they read during that era when we started, and that's, again, my favorite era, as we all know. So it's really cool that they're bringing this stuff up, even if there's not going to be a payoff till down the road. I like that it's there, and it keeps me hopeful, that stuff will happen.
I get you. I'm happy to hear about Bart. I know who that is. He does exist. He will be back. He's in the future. He'll be coming at some point.
Thank you so much. I didn't even think about the Connor reference.
We're going to get Bart. We're going to get Connor Hawk. We're going to get Cassie. We're going to have a great little team. Cyborg can come off the Justice League and come lead this team of Titans, and that'll be fun.
Oh man, I hate you so much.
No one else. That's it. Just those characters. That's all we need. Yeah, so it was definitely the most set up this Flash issue, but I enjoyed the chaos of it. So
no, I will agree with Connor on one thing about not about Census, but where it fits in. He just Williamson just started a new story with the Iron Heights stuff, and then he had to take a break to do this tie-in.
Oh, in that sense, sure, yeah. I think you just have to accept all the event stuff is happening just before or after whatever's going on.
Yeah.
And the
that's not what bothers me. It's just that it just feels like it just interrupts the flow of the story that was there before.
Yeah.
I mean, he left on a cliffhanger last issue to kind of make it feel like, you'll remember this when you come back.
I just think some better planning, where not have started the Iron Heights stuff till after this, done something else for an issue or two.
Yeah. Yeah, but then maybe he doesn't have a one shot in him that he's got ready. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter because likely this will be collected in its own thing.
Oh well, yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
So, it's just a one-off.
No, that's all fine. So that is the Flash 33. That'll take us on to Detective Comics 967, and Connor's going to gloat like nothing else because after last issue, I've been making Who's Connor jokes for months, and Tim says, "Who the hell is Connor?" And there's a little bit more of that in this issue. He's talking about Connor, but something that not been as long, but Connor here has been saying that there's been a lot of Brother Eye references these last few weeks.
Yeah,
it popped up in Batman Beyond, popped up over here and something else, and
one was the Batwoman issue in the future.
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, it's coming back. I'm telling you, it's coming back." So of course he's smug as shit when we find out that future Tim here comes to the Batcave because he wants to retrieve the current build of Brother Eye, and that's the big reveal at the end of the issue. Of course, a lot of the issue is actually a bit more emotional than that. It's all about Tim. Bruce finds Tim in the hospital. They share a moment. Everyone, like there's that great moment where Batwoman walks into the belfry, and Tim's just hugging Cass, and she's so happy, and he's like, "Oh, I'm glad to see you too." And at the end of that page, he's like, "Hey, spoilers on our way, right?"
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Tim doesn't know.
And then you see future Tim be creepy and go and hide in the shadows and talk to Spoiler.
Yeah. Because we know from that introduction of Batman of Tomorrow, Spoiler's still not on that side. She's still. I mean, I like the cut of her jib. She's steadfast anti-Batman right now. So, whether it's in this, in the present or in the future. So my kind of gal, but yeah, this issue was so good. I can't just everything from Tim's final reunion, and Batman rewatching. Like I needed to see all the angles. How could we have missed this?
Yeah, before he knows he's alive, he's trying to find him, and he's just rewatching the death over and over, trying to figure out how he's alive, what's going on.
Which I imagine he's been doing since the Azrael. What was that called? The
one was
their AI.
Yeah.
Since told him that Tim Drake's alive, and so, and the fact that he stops what he's doing and goes and I like his little entrance into the hospital too, how he changes out of the Batman costume. And I like that into Bruce Wayne.
You can still see it. See when he's in the room with the doctors, he's like, "I own this hospital. Get out. Give us the room."
Yeah.
You can see that he's still got his Batman top on underneath his shirt. You can see that it's been it feels very quick and just like I'll just put a shirt on over it just to hide it.
And just the art. Who did the art on this one?
Alvaro Martinez.
Just the fluidity of that, like when you're reading it and it's intercutting between them trying to revive Tim.
Yeah.
And him rushing up the stairs and leaving stuff behind, and it's just.
I love the panels of Bruce's guilt, where where he's reviewing the death, and he's just the close on his face, and then in the shadows with the cowl down, and he's talking about how Tim knew that I'd be coming for him, but it wasn't. And it's like, it just hits so hard.
That does hit. One of my favourite little moments actually is when Tim says, "Right, I know this is going to be a bit much to swallow, but you're just going to have to believe me on it." Well, actually, that wasn't what I was going to mention, but I also love Clayface's line here, where he's like, "Yeah, says the zombie to the clay monster." That was funny.
Yeah, that's so good.
But when he says, "Oh yeah, so future Tim is here, and he wants to try and stop the world becoming what it is in his timeline, so he's going to kill who's responsible for it. So he's coming after Kate, he's coming after Batwoman, and I love Kate just be like, how personal should I be taking this?" That cracked me up, that line.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Which
I also like that
that plays into something in another book later too. Like they're doing all sorts of cool stuff with these Bat characters across the line. Like it's amazing, So, but yeah, go ahead, Connor.
I like that we have a name for the team. It's only taken a year and a bit.
Oh yeah, Gotham Knights, which is harkens back to a time when we had the Gotham Knights book and stuff.
Well, and it's also, I love how obvious it was there, and Tim's like, "I made a round table with seats for everybody." Like how
it
how
kind
did
of
you
is
miss
really
this?
obvious when he says it, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I'm cool with that. It's almost like if this wasn't Detective Comics, like if they ever had to give up Detective for something else, just launch a book called Gotham Knights and make it the sequel to this
definitely.
Because that's what they are. You know what I mean?
I haven't I haven't checked, but I hope Tynion was smug as shit on Twitter, going, "How did none of you guys get this?"
Yeah. Well, again, I feel like now between Connor Kent and and Brother I feel like he might be watching, going, "Oh man, these guys are gonna love this." Like, I'm gonna watch when I do this. I'm gonna throw in a Connor reference.
Yeah.
Just that one was just for you, wasn't it, Matt?
Yeah. So like, if he is, what's up, James? Like, big fan.
The last issue was for me. If anything, that moment last issue was purely for me and my cackling that I gave out after. This one's a bit more for Matt because he's like, "Oh, that name Connor tugs on my heartstrings."
Well,
I don't know why, but I need to know. Staring out the window, top of the belfry. It's, nightlight all coming in. He's staring out, pondering, just sort of like, I must know who is Connor.
Oh, and as soon as I read this issue, I messaged Connor, like, "Dude, you gotta read it." He's like, "Oh, I'm so backed up still." I was like, "Connor, please read it, please, so we can talk about it in the open."
Yeah, and then and then I read it before he did, and I came on and said, "He's going to be a smug little shit on the podcast."
I'm gonna ruin this for him.
Matt's mic's going. Brother Eyes infecting Matt's mic.
Yeah, when Matt said that, I was like, "I'm gonna hold off. I can wait. I don't, I'll be fine." And then Pete said that. I was like, "Well, now I've got to know."
Yep. It was really a team effort there, Pete. That was good on us.
Yeah. So yeah, we mentioned about to see Steph, and then Future Tim comes to see Alfred, and that's when the B squad of the Knights, if you will, the Robins show up to fight him. All the ones and the dog
and the dog
and Titus. So he's like, you lost the moment you decided to engage with me. You're all better fighters than I am, but I've been spending 15 years like planning this out. Like I know exactly how to take you down.
Future Tim.
Do you?
I would have loved for Dick just to go over there and punch him out.
Yeah, as would
I would love for that to have a Gardner moment. Like,
I think I love Future Tim just because Tim's my favorite Robin anyway, and I just love that this is what he became in some versions. It's just like it just does this. It's so cool.
That makes sense though. I mean, out of all of the reasons, he has that chip on his shoulder. We talked about this before, So of course he's going to spend all that time and use their strengths against them, But I just would have loved for Tim for Dick just to go over as the big brother and just be like, "All right, we're just gonna settle this mano a mano."
Yeah, I just like that once they go through the roof and they're in the Batcave where Batman and who's with him? Tim. Batman and Tim have just shown up. I'm forgetting there's two Tims. It gets confusing. I'm like, no, we've already got a Tim accounted for.
Old Tim, young Tim.
Yeah, young Tim and Batman show up, and it's like, I don't care how good you are, you're not going to be able to fight all four Robins and the real Batman at the same time. Yep. Come on now, Future Tim. And he's like, yeah, but I've got Brother Eye. And that's where we end. It's also worth mentioning Kate is in a cell in the Belfry because that's where she's safe, and we've got Clayface and Cass and Azrael all kind of standing guard. So I'm sure that won't go wrong.
I will point out, I mentioned the Batman of the Future thing in the Superman Super Sons crossover. Mm-hmm. We got a cover for that in the solicits, and it's a different costume to this. It's not this Batman outfit, but it does look very Red Robin.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if you've seen it. You can go take a look at that in the solicits if you want. It looks it's got the plain down cowl, no ears. It just looks a lot like it.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah.
What's that art called? It's the Superman Super Sons.
Super Sons of Tomorrow.
Gotcha.
All right, so we're just going to sit and be quiet while Matt looks it up.
No, you guys go ahead. Keep talking. So I gotta see this.
Oh no, I'm kind of done. Anything else you want to talk about, Detective?
No, he looks creepy as hell standing on the computer panel the way he does it in the last panel. Like hunched over like a technical gargoyle.
I mean, this issue was just so fun. Even aside from being smug at the end, I just had a lot of fun with this issue.
It was the character stuff. It was everyone reuniting with Tim. The various reactions to the things that he says. That was all the stuff that was really.
I also really enjoyed older Tim talking to Alfred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really nice conversation.
Yeah, because he still cares about Alfred. He's like, get out of the way, Alfred. This is about to, get messy in here. So no, he still cares.
It doesn't want Alfred in the way.
Yeah. So yeah. Matt, did you find your image? I can see you.
No, I did not.
It was in the January solicit.
You can see it after the show.
That's fine. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. All right, so that'll take us on to Action Comics 990. Dan Jurgens writing and Viktor Bogdanovic on art. So this is the next part of the Oz Effect, and we have Superman, darting around. He's solving this little civil war that's going on, and he basically grabs the leaders of both armies and is like, "Hey, you're solving this now." And then he destroys all of their weapons on both sides and says, "Well, if you're going to fight, you're going to have to do it with sticks and stones. So just solve this. I don't have time for your bullshit." And he flies
I kind of
off.
like that. I loved irritated. Even though I love angry Superman where his eyes go red, but I think I have a new favorite, and that's just irritated. I've had enough. Superman. Where he's like, mad dad. All right, just deal with it. All right, like
Pretty
we're
much.
gonna get into a room, talk it out. This is the problem. You guys don't want to. So.
Yeah. So Lois grabs Jimmy's watch and presses it. And I thought I don't think it was intentional, but it was almost like a little meta joke about a recent episode of Supergirl where Jimmy used the watch to just have a chat with Supergirl.
Yeah, and here Superman was like, Jimmy knows not to use that unless it's an emergency.
Yeah, and I cackled hard at that just because that episode
too.
was recent. But yeah, so she's worried about John. Obviously, on the way, he actually deals with this, the Oz army that we've seen way back when they were like stealing Doomsday and stuff, and he stops them from their mad plan to like destroy the city. So there's a lot of fun action stuff happening as he's on his way to get to Lois, but it all kind of builds up to that point. She's like, John's not here, but Jor-El, or aka Mr. Oz, shows up at that point and is like, hey, there's a great threat coming to this world. So we're like, okay, he's talking about Manhattan or whatever Doomsday Clock is, and he's like, okay, we need to get you off this planet. And John's kind of like sticking up for him, and he's like, hey, no, Dad, you have to listen to Grandpa. And that's kind of the end of the issue.
Yeah.
It is worth mentioning as well that Superman, whilst he was beating up the Mr. Oz army, he did find out that he is behind those people. He knows that whether it's really his father or not, he is behind trying to like cause chaos in the world. So
So this is what's making me start to think that this isn't proper Jor-El. This isn't Earth Zero. Is the fact like Jurgens is putting it out there in the writing now, like Superman's starting to question it.
That sort of it though, that makes it more interesting to me if it is like, okay, when Superman's questioning it, he doesn't want to believe it, and I think so. Then if it turns out it is, it becomes more interesting because of that.
Yeah, I think there's an argument to be made there. If anything, it's more murky now than it was before. Before I was sure 100% it wasn't really his Jor-El. Now I'm like, oh, maybe it could be because he's starting to doubt it.
I'm really hoping it's not.
Here's synergy for you, Matt. What if it turns out to be a Jor-El from the Dark Multiverse?
Then that's fine. I mean,
that'd be crazy, right? If it turned out
kind of cool. Yeah.
that this whole time is a Dark Multiverse.
This completely blows up my theory that he was like a Monitor-esque that introduces a villain, but he's there to prep them for whatever's coming. And now it just seems like he's a pawn in Manhattan's game.
Yeah, he knows about it. He knows the threat's coming. What I do like
He's not there to fight it.
Yeah.
No.
What I do like about it though is I do like the odd kind of symbolism or symmetry of him once again trying to get Clark and Co. out of the planet in time before it all goes down, because it's kind of like what he did in the first place with Krypton.
Yeah, but I also
that.
feel like he was sabotaging it on the way out for whatever reason.
Well, I think the sabotaging is just purely to convince Superman that there's no point in staying. Like he's trying to convince him that he should just leave. That there's nothing to stay for. They're doomed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
they're awful. So because before when it was just him as a baby, there's no convincing because he's got no say in it. Now because he's an adult, he's Superman. He needs to be convinced that this is the course of action. But of course he's not going to, because we know Superman. He's going to stay and fight no matter what. Like that's who he is.
That's my point. Is if this is all Manhattan's ploy to remove Superman from everything, because we still don't know what his grand plan is. But
we don't think it is his play anymore, though, I don't think, right? We think it's just Oz working on his own.
It is. I think this is why I think it is the real Jor-El. I think he's like, no, that's my son. And, like you say, the whole point of sending him away as a baby was to save him. And he wants to do that again. He's like, no, I want to save him. He's jaded. He doesn't care. I mean, that was the whole thing. Originally, he tried to save all of Krypton. He couldn't, so he just settled for his son. And now he's jaded. He's like, I'm just saving my family. And it's like, I'm getting them out of here. Manhattan can take the Earth. I don't care.
Yeah, another small tidbit that might link to being the real Jor-El for me was the idea that when John's like, oh, but will Lois be fine in this new planet because she's not? And he's like, yeah, she'll be fine. She's smart. She has her own powers in her head. Like the fact that he's also wanting to save Lois and like save the whole family as a unit, and he's not just being like, Oh, just the
But then
Kryptonians, not
that
her.
undermines his point, though, that mankind's not worth saving. Because you're looking at Lois there, you know, like.
Oh sure, but I think he's saying that because he doesn't want, because he knows that if he says Lois can't come, both John and Clark are going to never say yes. They're never going to be okay with that.
Yeah, it's more of a
strategic.
It's
move.
a compromise on his part. It's like, fine, have Lois, you can save her, but that'll get you safe.
Well, then if that's the case too, then he's meddling with Manhattan's plans. Is that the end of Oz? Is Manhattan blinks him out of existence? Like, is that how this ends?
Maybe.
Or, you know.
Okay.
I don't know. There's so much. I like that it's murky though. I like not knowing.
I don't
what's
think
coming.
the timing that this is right because this should be ending just as the first Doomsday Clock issue is hitting. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think they timed this.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Right.
so we'll see whatever small ties are there. As far as enjoying the issue goes,
It's fine.
it's fine. Like I wouldn't say I loved it. It had some interesting moments and ideas. Art was good.
I like the art.
Bogdanovic is good.
Bogdanovic's art's
I like the
great.
art a lot, except for John. I think John looks a little weird.
He looks too young.
Yeah,
That's-
there's something about him, like especially on that last page. There's something about his face that just looks kind of off.
Because
He's
he's meant to be, what, 11, 12, right? Because Damien's 13. And that was the whole reason that he's not part of the Teen Titans was you're not a teenager. So, but I feel like sometimes they don't give the artist the memo that he's supposed to be 11 or 12. So they draw him like he's 8 or 9. Which, you know, with kids, it's a big difference.
He's a bit more animated. I do like how he draws Superman though, and the action,
definitely.
the action especially. I was really enjoying him flying through things and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, his Daily Planet crew as well. Like, when they're not doing, like, big things, they just feel right.
Yeah, you've got Perry and like Steve and all that, all sort of standing around going, "Oh, where's the kid?" And Steve's like, "Yeah, but he wants to run off and not see my jersey. I can't believe that for a second."
He's so self-absorbed. I love it. I want a Steve Lombard one shot, like that's just like what he does for the day, and it's actually kind of sad.
Have an ongoing, Matt. Have an ongoing. You can have.
No, I just need the one shot.
You know how we had the Steve Trevor one shot? If we can get a Steve Lombard one shot, we do all the DC Steves.
Yeah, other.
How many more are there?
I don't know. I'm sure there's more.
Yeah,
but
I just want to know like how sad his day is, day in and out, because I want to think like he was a decent quarterback, but not like awesome. He was just kind of mid-level, and so instead of going and opening a car dealership, he became a sports reporter. You know,
I'll tell you what I want. I want a one shot with Cat Grant and Catwoman, and I want the whole thing to be about how Cat Grant hates cat puns, but Catwoman loves them, and it's just this ideological debate between them about cat puns on their names.
It's like My Dinner with Andre, but with those two. See, look, I can make deep movie polls as well.
That's not bad. Not bad.
Thanks. But yeah, I liked it. It's action. I mean, it's like, I don't want to say mid-level again, but it's what it's supposed to be.
No,
like it's not
it is.
knocking it out the park, but it gets the job done.
My overall problem with action at the minute is when I talk about what's in the story and what it's doing, I'm like, oh, that's really great, that's exciting. Like, you know, everything about the Mr. Oz stuff is really good. But issue to issue, I don't think it's amazing. Like, it's like, okay, it's like, I like what it does, but I don't love reading.
Do you know what I think it is?
That's how I remember when it started. We all felt that way.
Well, do you know what I think it is, though? I honestly think it's just an issue or two too many. I think the story's spread out a little bit thin over, like, 6 issues or whatever it is. I feel like if this was condensed a little bit more, because, you know, we had... Because the first issue was basically just Jor-El telling his... No, it wasn't. That was the second issue. The first issue was just...
The first issue was just building to the reveal.
Yeah, and then the second issue was just him telling his backstory, and then the third issue was mostly still in the fortress of him telling Clark, like, oh, everyone's awful, we have to... You know, and then Clark eventually flew out to do stuff. But like, I feel like if you condense these 4 issues that we've had of it into just 3, just one less issue, I feel like it would be a lot tighter, because it'd feel like, but because it's been a little bit drawn out, it feels like it's maybe taken just a little bit too long to get to its points. You know, issue to issue, and it's just leaving it feel a little bit, just slightly underwhelming. I'd say it's just slightly underwhelming.
Yeah. It's, I don't want to say disappointing because I'm enjoying it, but like. I also probably built it up a little bit too much because we had all those crazy theories and what's it going to be and who is Mr. Oz, you know. But that said, I am enjoying it, the big picture. But like Connor said, issue to issue, I'm just like, yeah, okay, that was a good read.
I wouldn't say I'm disappointed because I'm enjoying everything to do with the Oz mystery. When I think about what it is, I just don't enjoy it as a story necessarily. I enjoy it for the idea.
Yeah. that'll take us on to Wonder Woman number 33, James Robinson writing, Emanuela Lupacchino on art. This was an issue about Grail, and it was kind of basically the backstory of what's going on with Darkseid right now, including a little editor's note explaining that this does indeed take place after Metal, because she even mentions, after I had to go and get you back after Batman stole you. Yeah. It also mentioned there's another story to add to that they've not done yet. It says a tale yet to be told.
So Grail taking out all of these, sons of Zeus, daughters of Zeus. Can't take on Batman though. That cracks me up. Batman got in there sneaky like.
Damn straight.
Okay, so
to be
everyone
fair,
knows I love Lupacchino.
Yeah.
Right. And I like the art. This issue, I don't know. It took me a long to read because it's a while to read, so I wasn't into it.
It was okay.
I really like the first half.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. I feel like it slowed down. As I
like
towards
Baby
the second
Darkseid using these Omega beams to burn a guy's top half of his body off. That was
like
great.
when the
Baby Darkseid
just,
gnawing on his crib, just like a nasty little baby, like him. And want Baby Darkseid to become a meme, just like they have the Tiny Titans type thing, oh man, I love it. Baby Darkseid wins.
So what we want? I think we want Rugrats, but with Baby Darkseid, and every so often during the cartoon, the screen will go black and it'll just say Darkseid is.
Baby Darkseid is.
Baby Darkseid is. So this was the story of her going around killing, she's realising she has to kill all these old gods, and there's some quick shots of some of them getting killed, and Darkseid grows up a couple of years every time he gets the energy of one of them, so he's 14 now or something like that, in terms of...
Yeah, but by the time he gets Hercules, he's 13.
Yeah.
Which is the worst time to be a Darkseid. Teen Darkseid, you just think he's all sweaty and pimply, needs... deodorant.
He's like, Grail, but I want more old gods.
Some of them were cracking me up. So you have one that was just a librarian.
Yeah.
One was a bear. One was Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I thought you'd like the bear.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange? What do you mean? Rewind there. Rewind. You just said Doctor Strange.
No, I meant Doctor Strange. Go and look at it. It's Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I don't.
He lives in the same
one
area.
under the bear.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find that page with the bear. You keep discussing your point.
Yeah, so I gotta go back and check my Greek mythology because the bear, I feel like I've read that myth before.
Yeah, me too. But I'm not super familiar with it.
Which one it was? Little disappointed that Percy has became a Wall Street banker and not an adventurer.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem to gel.
I still have the Pegasus though.
He's got a Hawaiian shirt on. That's not Doctor Strange.
No. He's got a green shirt, a red cape, and the blue thing. The magic shield things that Doctor Strange has. Yeah.
Well, fine then. Okay, then I'm happy.
The Egyptian world traveler, Aphafis.
Then I am glad that Grail took him out like a chump. Then, all right.
Calisto.
Yeah, me too. That's what I'm saying. It amused me because it was clearly supposed to look like Doctor Strange.
Yeah. I do like the art a lot. Actually, that's my favorite thing about the book.
Easily.
Lupacchino, but I wish I cared about the story more. That's what just got me, and I like James Robinson more often than not. I just feel like this is a placeholder.
I will say this. I do really like the scene where they come to get Baby Darkseid, the army, and the action that follows is actually really cool. I really like Grail jumping up to the plane, and then you just see the explosion, and then she's running at more guys with guns. It's actually a really nicely laid out action scene. So I'll give it props there.
I like Grail as a character, and I hope she sticks around. I could even see her one day being used as kind of like a Deathstroke anti-hero. We're following her adventures, through whatever she does. But yeah, this issue just kind of... I wish this was the second issue of this arc. And then we get to Jason at the end, because that reveal was kind of just nah. So here...
It was kind of cracking me up at the end, where they're like, look at him, he's amazing. He's so powerful. I'm like, really?
He's a
fisherman. Well, it's because you can't see it, because we're not Teenage Darkseid.
No. Yeah, actually, now you say that, I feel like this issue would have been better placed before the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you
I felt like they wanted the surprise of him being the...
Because if you ended... Because this issue ending with them looking over and saying, he's just a fisherman on a boat, but we don't get to see him, and then if we went... They had the last issue after it, then we'd have her go there and be like, she finds him on the boat, and it'd be like, okay...
Because they're looking for him for different reasons. Like they're looking for him, to drain his inner. Well, here they even say he has a darker purpose. Like I feel like Darkseid's gonna try to drain Diana, and it's not gonna end up well, because she's a daughter of Zeus and whatnot, and he's gonna facilitate that. But she's looking for him out of sheer like curiosity because that's her family, versus they're looking at him as an object, So I don't feel like it would have ruined her surprise of seeing him as this, normal fisherman living out in Greece. But yeah,
no, I think it ruins the month for us, but not for Diana.
Yeah. It was a crappy surprise anyway, so who cares? It was a crappy surprise. So
I'm not defending that. I'm just saying I
still liked it a lot more when I thought that Hercules was Jason. Like I liked him living up there by himself, and he had the dark hair and beard.
Yeah, he was.
Hercules was cool as shit.
Yeah, he needs to come back.
It was.
I just feel like they don't use him because he's not a big character in Marvel, but Marvel kind of uses him more in that. Like
it was out there chopping wood like a Tyrell.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, you drop wrestling references that Connor won't get. I'm dropping Mr. Robot references that you won't get.
But see, I understand Tyrell. I'm not up to date with the show, so it's on the old BDR. Yeah, I enjoy it more when I don't have space between them.
Yeah, no spoilers. Let's just say there's some lumberjacking going on, and that's all you need to know.
If that's anything like his previous actions, that joke is spot on.
Okay. So yeah, it was okay. Actually, it wasn't great. It was kind of what it was.
Middle of the road. Lupacchino though, like
that kind of makes it's the same thing I say always about Red Hood at the end whenever I have to do that. It's like, but the art's real nice, so there's something there. It makes I can just kind of. Even if the story's pointless, I can kind of go through and just look at the nice pictures. Yeah,
there's nice art. I like Baby Darkseid and his sort of the way he talks to Grail, and I like the action scene. But I mean, it's not going to be a particularly memorable issue in the long run.
I like that considering it's his daughter, right? Like, and what we've seen in Mr. Miracle, he can talk to her telepathically, and so his presence is always felt, even though Scott Free's not his biological son. He was raised to be a son of Darkseid, so the connection's there a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I like Grail's debate of, is she a mother or is she the daughter? Right. Like, she's kind of confused at her place.
Yeah.
It's things that should be good, but it's just
there's good stuff here. I just feel like I don't care about Jason. Like, this was just Grail. Like,
no one cares about Jason.
What's that?
Darkseid cares about Jason.
No one cares about Jason. Okay. No characters. No one outside of the book itself cares about Jason.
I even forget why he was brought up in Darkseid War, just outside of just a shock value thing, Like, oh, there's another. Like it's.
Well, that's what it was. It was just hey, here's a tease coming.
Yeah, we have another.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but anyways.
Let's move on then. We can move on to Batgirl number 16, Hope Larson writing, Chris Wildgoose on art. This is the next part of the Summer of Lies plotline. This one actually was into three simpler chunks. We had a flashback chunk at the start, a flashback chunk at the end, some present day stuff in the middle, and we had Dick and Bab's first kiss. So I'm just going to be over here swooning and
of course you are.
Writing my fanship.
It's not a fanship when they're actually together, Pete.
It's his OTP, don't worry.
I just learned what that meant, actually, this week.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, because Panda, from our Facebook group, was talking about Riverdale on Twitter, and she was complaining about a writer who wrote OTP into, I think it was an episode of Glee, and I'm like, what the hell does OTP mean? It's like, it means one true pairing, and I'm like, I'm annoyed I know that now. I didn't want to know this information.
I don't like that either.
It's what the shippers used to describe their ships. Yes.
It's like your favourite of your favourite.
I just want to crack a joke, and we went down this dark path of talking about ships.
I gotta quit, guys. This is like OTP is my dark side. It's just going to haunt me in the middle of the night.
Oh man.
But I love the pairing of Dick and Babs though. But I love it because their relationship isn't just a dating. Like it is, as weird as it is, they've known each other so long, it's almost familial. as I'm not trying to be gross or
No,
or
it's more like the girl who lived next door, so you've known each other since you were kids,
yeah,
and you fell for each other, and it's kind of that relationship they've got going.
exactly. And so when you see their first kiss and you're invested in the relationship as long as like me and Pete have. I don't know about Connor, but it's nice to see that. But like I'm not like unlike Pete, I'm not over here swooning because I thought the other aspect of this, I thought it was I don't want to say really well written, but I liked the turn that the story took here.
Oh yeah. So
With
the
what had happened in the past
well,
comparing to the future.
well, let's talk about the story. What it is. So we start off. The last issue ended with them finding these guys who seem to be after Ainsley, but it turns
A lot of
out
poop jokes.
that they're actually only going after her because she's like screwed them over. She stole stuff from them. She's the bad guy, and they end up sitting and telling about this. And it turns out this new drug, this nanotechnology drug that's triggered by music and songs and stuff, explaining the party they went to last issue and how everyone started freaking out because of it. So they end up tracking her down, and it turns out she's going to an AA meeting. Essentially, she's going to an addicts meeting, and they're listening. And this is when the first kiss happens because Babs gets really feels bad about it. She gets a little upset. We shouldn't be listening to this kind of thing.
Which she's right on a human level.
Yeah.
But on we gotta stop this stuff from happening. Like it's good to know.
And she also feels guilty that she, in a roundabout way, had a hand in helping develop this stuff because she was helping with the coding.
Yep.
So very very human stuff. And we go to present day, and they go and try and look up. It's a mental hospital they go to try.
Well, it's a rehab.
Or rehab hospital. You're right. Yeah.
It's a rehab hospital.
And when they go in, all of the staff are going absolutely ape shit and writing shit in the walls and attacking the
staff.
I guess they're patients. No, it's the staff that are going ape shit.
The staff, yeah.
Yeah.
The patients.
Yeah.
The staff are the ones going ape shit. We're agreeing on that.
Yeah, they are.
That's what I meant to say.
Right. Because you both said something at the same time. You both said the opposite word, and I didn't know which one was agreeing with me and which one wasn't.
Gotcha.
Right. So the staff are going ape shit, and they get their costumes on, they fight, blah, 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 blah. So this is where they go in, and they basically... they use a trick to get the staff calmed down. They play the song from the party, and Dick's even like, oh, that's a deep cut, Babs. That's a deep cut.
Because the drug's called EMJ, and it's based off of that emoji song, which... This is how annoying I find things. Like, I was just like, oh, man, if that was a street drug, it would annoy me. Like, for reals. If I had this named after an emoji song.
I think all it did for me was like, are emojis that old? Like being called emojis?
Well, we see in the flashbacks that Babs has got a smartphone, so this is maybe like 5-6 years ago.
Right, and I was like, did we use emoji in popular culture as a term?
I don't know if we used emojis. I don't know if we called them emojis at the time.
No.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's what I mean. I mean the term, because obviously this is there's a song about emojis.
Let's just say that the DC universe is like ahead of us by a little bit technologically.
It's fluid. It's a fluid continuity, and things bend and contort.
It's fine. It just
almost
I just had a
hyper time, if you will.
So they basically figure out, they look into the records and stuff, and the shocker, because this is what's funny, is since the first issue of this arc, we've been like, oh, I bet Ainsley's going to be, the Red Queen, she's the bad guy, and that's what they're starting to think as well, but it turns out Ainsley's dead. She OD'd, and it's like, but the sister that, like, disowned her and stuff, like, she, like, came and, like, collected her stuff, and she knows about it, so... I mean, they've not actually shown it's like we've not actually found the Red Queen and she's admitted she's her yet, so there could still be a swerve. But at least right now, it seems like this sister.
That feels like that was the swerve, though.
It does, but it also feels early to me as well because this is only the third issue of the arc. It's just because we don't actually have the sister's face herself, like revealing. Like I feel like to confirm this 100%, I feel like it should have cut to a scene of the Red Queen like taking off like her mask. Or whatever.
I mean, the idea of her, she's gone because she was masquerading as one of the staff. Yeah. And then learn this, and then they go back and she's gone. I think that's kind of confirmation.
It's no, it more or less is, but it's just I feel like typically I'd expect it to cut to her mention her sister or something, so you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt, like the Red Queen was this sister.
Well, and it doesn't gel with what Ainsley had said. Ainsley had said like she had to go help her sister, and that's why she couldn't finish school, and completely went over the drug thing. So now you have the actual sister that all this happened to. So it wouldn't even surprise me if Ainsley's not dead. If like it wasn't, an OD, if something else had happened.
But does she think she's dead?
Yeah, and that's the sisters going and I like that the sisters actually trying to get revenge on the Mad Hatter, because this has all been kind of personal driven towards him, because
he was helping make the drugs and stuff. He was all part of that crime syndicate and stuff. Yeah, and it's a nice scene where the young Babs and Tim in the backstory are like, should we get Batman's help? And Babs like, no, we don't need Batman to take care of this. We can do this. We're together. We can do this. Robin and Batgirl. We can do it. So.
And she basically goes, "I'm not a pussy. You a pussy?" And he's like,
pretty much. That's the gist of the conversation. So we end on them storming Mad Hatter's place. That's kind of the cliffhanger we've got for the next issue. I love the art in the flashbacks, by the way. I love the different colouring that they're employing for it to give it a different look.
A little more muted.
Yeah.
I think this might be my favourite arc of the book so far, and I really love the first one.
No, I think it's my favourite arc of the book so far as well. Because I think before I liked the arcs, I loved the one shots in between the arcs, but I feel like this arc has risen to the level of the one shots for me, where I'm like, no, this is nailing what I want from
outside of the Ghost at the pool issue. I've loved this run.
It's been a pretty great
So I can't really pick. I mean, I really love the Albuquerque art, but I also love that one shot of Ivy on the plane. That was good. It was a lot of fun.
The little girl finding the dog, that has been the MVP of the run so far.
That one. I not that I forgot about it, but I spaced on that one too. And then even the Son of Penguin stuff, I really enjoyed. This
it was good.
Yeah, this is a book that I look forward to every month. Like if I don't forget about it, but I was like, oh yeah, Batgirl this week. Awesome.
I hope it's selling well, because I want it to stick around for a while.
I think it's in the... it's funny, actually. There was a really handy Reddit post someone put up this past week analysing the sales from September, and it put the books into categories of, this is the core books, this is the safe books, this is the sort of middle ground, here's the ones that are kind of maybe in trouble, kind of thing. I believe this was in the mid-tier.
Okay. Not good enough, but...
Was that in the comic book Reddit, or was that in the DC comic Reddit?
DC Reddit, I believe that was in.
Okay.
But it was a post.
Is that the one that talked about Mr. Miracle sales being
I think so,
crazy?
Yeah, Mr. Miracle sales are doing... Like, that was... I think people were saying that was the most under-ordered book. The first issue was the most under-ordered book in a long time.
My shop had to double-check, make sure I wanted it. Like, they put it in my box anyways.
Yeah.
Because I'm, like, the DC guy. But because they... Not that they under-ordered, but... It became
I think everyone underordered, because I mean that's how comic shops work. They order based on expectations. They have to make a guess.
There's that Irish store that has a really good Twitter account, Big Bang Comics or whatever they're called. They always do like sales reports on Twitter every week, just to sort of let people know how things are doing. And like I just remember the main tweet from them, like, you know, a couple of weeks ago, it was like, Scott Free is outselling Spider-Man in our store. I never thought I would say that. Like. Wow. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. Like,
yeah, that's crazy. Ooh. I mean, it deserves it. I mean, that's why it's. I mean, sales rose from issue 1 to 2 just because they ordered for issue 1 and then went, okay, people like this more than we thought. We better up the orders for number 2, and that never happens. I mean,
really,
never. It always go. Typically they always over order for number 1 to be safe, and then drop for
under.
2.
Yeah, that's why back when I first started collecting comics around the early 2000s, if you could find a second issue, it was always worth more than the issue 1 from that time area. So like Wolverine Origin, like issue 2, I got a hold of that early, and that jumped to like a $15 book. That came out.
Joe, I think it is partly. I think that Tom King was getting some cred for the books that he'd done. You know, Vision and Omega Men or whatever. Like,
Sheriff of Babylon.
Yeah, I think he was getting some credit for those in sort of more niche comics like circles. But Batman's kind of propelled his name to like the mainstream. So now that he's doing something that's a bit more niche again, it's blown up. It's like no, now Tom King's name is enough. We
saw the same thing happen with Snyder.
Yeah, we did actually.
Exactly.
You're right.
Yeah.
So, which is cool.
And because it pushed him to a higher profile, so now he's getting both of those. It's a Venn diagram, you know.
But buy and read Batgirl is basically what we're saying to you.
That's it. Yes.
Please.
And New Superman. I know that's
New Superman. Absolutely.
Keep doing that for our buddy Keenan Kong.
But But no, like Batgirl has been very consistent, and I think it's arguably getting better as it goes as well. As we're saying, like the one shots in between the arcs have been fantastic. This is the best arc so far. I think we're all kind of agreeing on that. So
this is the most I've enjoyed Batgirl since Brian Q. Miller. I'll say that.
Oh man, that Brian Q. Miller, Stephanie Brown Batgirl run. Mwah.
Waffles,
the waffle queen herself.
I'm pretty sure you just gave Peter boner. Just by mentioning that.
You're welcome.
No. My nipple's a little bit hard, but no boner. So that was worth it for Matt's face. That was a worldly comment just for Matt's face.
Audio people have never missed out on anything as much as that.
I know, that was glorious. So no, the Batgirl is good. I'm loving the arc. So that'll take us on to Teen Titans number 13. Benjamin Percy writing, Khoi Pham on art. Yes, I'm just going to start off by saying yes.
Finally.
We have been waiting for this. Damian goes to Star City to offer Emmy a spot in the Teen Titans, and it is
in the only
beautiful.
way he knows how, and it's the most Damian. I love it.
He shows up
Hey,
and
we're kind of similar.
Yeah.
You were raised by a ninja mom and supervillain dad. I was raised by my ninja mom and supervillain grandpa. So, like, hey, why don't you just come back with me?
Yeah.
Like, that line killed me.
He shows up riding in on Goliath, and he's just like, and she's like dealing with a thing on her own right now. There's like some
with onomatopoeia.
Yeah, he's on a ship, and she's trying to track him down, and it's causing chaos. And he just swoops in, and he's like, and she's like, yeah, screw off. Why would I join all these, pipsqueebs in the Teen Titans? I work with Green Arrow and Black Canary. Why do I need to come with you?
Arsenal when I have to. I like that too.
Yeah.
Like Roy can't even get appreciation from Emmy.
Yeah. But unfortunately, then onomatopoeia ends up causing a lot more trouble. By the way, I love. I just glanced at the page there. Emmy's like, "Oh, I like your dog," and she runs over and starts tickling Goliath, and Goliath's on his back like a cat, just like, yeah, this is great. Keep scratching.
Yep, I love Goliath. I did that post last week of people were asking what are your top favorite characters since 2000, and I had thrown in Damian and Goliath. There's a reason that I put Goliath in that picture too, because he's a great character.
That's fair. So basically, stuff keeps going down, and Emmy's like, "Oh crap, I've not dealt with this shit. All right, you can help me, Damian. I'm borrowing your dog." And she grabs Goliath, and he's right behind her. And there's a big explosion. Basically, onomatopoeias try to cause a tidal wave to take out Star City.
Yeah.
So that's a big cliffhanger. But no,
which I understand the area around Seattle. Tidal waves kind of man, you're asking for a lot there. There's a lot of. It's a sound.
It's fine.
It's comics, I know, but still, I can't help it. I'm just worried about the orcas that live in that area. I hope they're okay. But the rest of the Titan stuff I really like too, because if them going to Kid Flash.
Yeah, they're trying to
re-recruit him.
Yeah, New Wally back, and they're trying to say, "Hey, it's fine," It all boils down to New Wally's like, "Yeah, I'll come back in one condition. Damian needs to apologize to my face," and I'm like, I cannot wait for that scene. I
heard a gasp that wasn't there from the rest of the Titans.
Yeah, I like that. It gives us some downtime between them as well. We see that Wally keeps being late for class, and the teacher's like, "Oh, you're falling in with a bad crowd," and there's just a panel of him with Deathstroke, and it's like, that's the bad crowd he's falling in with, is Deathstroke.
So I'm wondering, the whole point of I'm drawing a blank, Priest wanting him there, if Defiance, where it feels like it's not gonna matter in the long run. We can reference it, but it doesn't seem like it impacted Wally that much, because he's just back to being regular Kid Flash.
At least because he doesn't really work with anyone right now. That was one of his things he says to them, and you get that maybe working with Defiance is kind of like, okay, he's become a bit of a lone wolf because dealing with people's So that's the whole thing. Yeah. So him swooping in to stop some mugger. Let's say mugger. It's two guys with guns trying to rob an armored car, and Wally runs in.
Posing as homeless people.
Yeah. Yeah, but
can you spare some change? I wish the armored truck would have just ran him over after that one.
Yeah. Gar's hilarious in this issue as well. He's cracking jokes. He's some passerby's taking a photo of him and
from behind.
Yeah, and Aqualad's like, "Are you posing? Are you sticking your butt out, flexing your butt for that photo?" He's like, "Got to give the people what they want."
Yeah, that was pretty great.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Titans back. I mean, I liked the Gotham Resistance stuff a lot, but here it just feels like Percy's back in that groove.
Which they
of
do
how
reference
they're
in this.
interacting.
It mentions that, that's why he's in Star City, because Green Arrow recommended Emmy, and he says that he worked with them, and he kind of liked it in his weird own Damien way.
Yeah. Well, and I like that it looks like when the Teen Titans walk in, like he's running training simulations against them, and they're kind of like, Damien, should we be worried? And he's like, well, y'all were just turned into bad versions of yourself, so.
Yeah. Also, he also says that it's just so you can train when the rest of the team's not here. You can train as if we were all here to spar. That's his reasoning. Of course, I'm just thinking, like father like son. That's basically what's happening. The art's very good as well. I really like Khoi Pham on this book. It's nice and poppy. It's obviously the colours are very bright as well. It's works really well for the characters that are on this. I think Kid Flash in this, his yellow and red suit is the best he's ever looked.
Yep. Yeah, it really pops.
Yeah,
for sure.
Give that. And I love the Goliath stuff. Him flying away from tidal wave at the end. All of it looks good. Teen Titans super fun, and I am so happy that Emmy's on the team. I am so happy that they're already hinting the fact that Damien's going to have a crush on her, because of course he needs to have a crush, and she has to play hard to get, and it is going to be the most hilarious thing ever. I can't wait.
Yep.
If Dick and Babs is the sweetest relationship of all time, this is going to be the best relationship between two assholes on the planet.
Yeah, it's basically the TV show You're the Worst, but with teenagers.
Kind of. Connor's not been reading this because he's a dirty ginger.
I haven't read it in a long time. It lost me a while. It lost me in the first arc.
I'm going to do this. He hates fun.
Yeah. He likes Red Hood as well.
I just didn't think the first arc was that good, and I've read the relevant crossover issues, but that's about it. Man,
you might want to jump back on with this one if you love Emmy.
Emmy and Damien, it's happening.
Because it's Percy.
That sounds
I know
great.
Lemire created her, in the Outsiders arc, but it's really been Percy that even before Rebirth, her moving in with Ollie and the Wolf Dog. I can't remember his name, but that was seated there. But Percy's really made this character her own, kind of his own. Wow, that was a bad slip. Like Tomasi made Damien. I always love when Tomasi writes Damien. He didn't create him. So, it's good stuff all around.
I'm down for her being in Teen Titans. I'm excited for more. That'll take us on to Nightwing, The New Order, number 3. Kyle Higgins writing, Trevor McCarthy on art. We ended last issue with poor Alfred getting shot.
Not a good month for Alfred last week.
Not a good month last week for Alfred. Matt's got away with words.
Sorry about that. I was not thinking. I said it, and then I went back to listen, and I was like, okay, that wasn't right, but I'm going to move on.
So obviously Dick's son has been carted off for having powers. Dick's been detained as well. We actually bring in some other big characters from the Batworld here, because we get Kate, who's apparently is a Pentagon level, in charge of all this stuff. And then to get some help once he breaks out, and he goes full Nightwing, as it were. Which that's the funny thing. He gets his suit later on in the issue, but at the moment he jumps across that table, he looks like Nightwing in action.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
I love how they're kind of using the Nightwing logo for their the organization.
Yeah, it's a really simplified 3 part of it, and it's it's 3 shapes that kind of make the Nightwing logo. Yeah.
Oh, and they touch on that with Kate having left being Batwoman, and she always had a difficult relationship with Bruce, and she leaves and after her dad dies, right, becomes a soldier and goes and works for the Pentagon. And when Dick does what he has to in Chicago, she kind of creates the Crusaders and he becomes the face. And it didn't really sit well with her. He gets to be the public face of this program she put together. So, I had issues with this from the beginning just because I don't like seeing characters I like, do bad things. It's just one of the things I don't find that interesting. And especially Dick Grayson becoming this fascist. But over the last 2 issues and seeing how it's personally affected him, and basically he did what he needed to do because he wanted to preserve the future, and then kind of just got wrapped up in everything. And I can kind of see how.
Do you know what? It's weird. At this point, it's reminding me of The Gifted, the new X-Men TV show.
Yes, I haven't watched it yet.
It kind of is.
And then I saw a
actually.
girl running around with green hair and someone that looks like Warpath, and I was like, I think I'm gonna have to watch this. It looks a little bit more X-Men than I was expecting.
It has its moments. It's got some rough patches, but there's definitely some things to like about the show so far. Yeah, and the other character that pops up, of course, is that Dick goes to Tim to get some help to track down where his son's been taken.
That dude's been reproducing too, because he's got like 4 kids.
Yeah, he's a dad now. He's like, oh,
And he's got a receding hairline.
yeah, and he's like, oh, he finds out about Alfred. He's not. I mean, Kate as well. Actually, when she finds out about Alfred, she's not particularly pleased.
She is not happy at all.
Well, because she talks to that Brady guy. He's like, you bungled this on every level, and.
Are we supposed to know who Brady is? Because he mentions his dad's in stasis, and I was like, who is he?
I don't know. I think we'll find out because I was racking my brain. But she tells him, don't talk to Nightwing, don't talk to Dick until she gets there. She'll handle this, And basically, she's gonna give Nightwing what he wanted. Like we'll just kind of sweep this under the rug, which kind of shows how some things never change for as much as they do. You know. That they're going to take care of each other in secrecy and make it look like, the outside. And he bungles it at every opportunity. He starts addressing Nightwing and just makes
he
it
just
look
goes,
bad.
nah, screw that, I'm going in.
Yeah. And immediately as well, it's like as soon as he hangs up the phone, it's like, okay, I'm going in. That's fine. Yep, it's happening. So
I feel like Kate's kind of introduces this villainous character, but she's really not. Like, that's what I like that this book's really playing with the shades of gray. Whereas I felt like the first 2 issues, they're going, oh man, look at this. This is bad. What had happened that made Dick do this? And now, that he's personally affected and we're seeing the greater world around him, it's really come into its own. And I've really enjoyed this.
I don't know if that's, like, are you saying it justifies you? This justifies what Dick's done in the past here for you? Is that what you're saying?
No, because I still don't like that. I still don't like he's, taking out the heroes and, like, powers. Like, I love this cover because it looks like a propaganda poster.
Yeah. They've all kind of been like that, though, actually. They've all had that style.
Yeah, but this one especially because of what the Bat families represent, because none of them have powers. And they're all,
Yeah. I thought it was really interesting, on that note, like how Tim was kind of on board with it. By the sound, it was like, yeah, you kind of did what you had to. The world is safer now. It's like, like that kind of, they're all justifying themselves. Yeah.
So
and it's easy to see how people can get caught up in that, even if they know that it's wrong, but it seems like it's pushing all the right buttons. They're just like, they can shut it off and look the other way. And I thought this addressed that really well.
So Dick, once he does break out, and after he sees Tim to find out where he needs to go, he actually goes to the Batcave, which is now a museum. People can come in and walk around for $40 and get a tour. But of course, there's some secret sub-levels which no one knows about, other than a few select people. And Dick goes down, gets his suit and a bike and some gadgets and shit. He doesn't get where he's going, though, because John Stewart, who is working for the government, stops him.
Of course, being the soldier.
Yeah, it makes sense for him to be doing this.
It does make sense, and he's about to punch him again when there's a quick... Because the prison that he's going to is in Central City. That's where he's heading.
Yep.
And just before he gets punched again by John Stewart, there's a whoosh, speedster whoosh, and we have a Flash who pulls him out of harm's way, takes him to someone else who's standing there. Now, it makes most sense that this is Wally.
Yeah.
Right? Just based on what it would mean to Dick and the age range and all the rest of it.
The first issue talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a mention of him.
Yeah. So it makes sense that it's Wally. And there's this woman here who seems to be the some kind of resistance that are now going to help him, which is maybe where you're getting the gifted comparisons even more.
You didn't see who that was.
Yeah, I think Pete missed it.
Maybe I did, but I didn't.
Pete's a moron.
That's Coriander. That's Starfire.
Yeah, I don't know how he's missed that.
Oh, I did miss that.
Look at her eyes, bro.
She's still wearing purple.
Yeah.
If anything, I thought it looked more like Kendra.
The gifted, that's part of the gifted stuff, but also the idea that Dick was kind of on board with this until it affected his kid, and was like, okay, maybe not.
Well, even then, I feel like here...
Oh, yeah, I kind of see it.
He was just going along with it because it seemed to make sense at the moment. He wasn't thinking about the long-term aspects. Like, even though he had a kid with this alien princess, somehow his kid was going to turn out 100% human. Like, he was just ignoring everything, there's what's the old saying? Like, there's two kinds of evil, but the worst kind is the good man that does nothing while the evil happens. Right? I know I butchered it.
All it takes for evil to win is for good men to do nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Triumph usually is the word that shows, but yeah.
Yeah, and here, Dick thinks he did the right thing by taking out all the supers in that one instance, but as it's become more of a fascist state, he's just gone with it. Like, he's kind of he's looking the other way, but now that it's affecting himself and he doesn't want his son in stasis, then, it can't happen. And that's why I thought it was really important that Kate was like, hey, look, we won't put him in stasis. We'll do what we can for him and keep it under wraps.
Yeah, because obviously he wants him to join the squads. I can't remember the name he uses, but it's basically what Jon Stewart's doing here, like being part of the enforcers.
Right.
But
yeah,
and
so it's like
well, here's the thing though. I actually feel like this issue makes Dick a bit hypocritical.
Yeah,
because it does kind of
like.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it makes me like him less because it's like, oh, now it's your son, it's different.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think when you're dealing with the themes that you're dealing with, then that's what makes it. Because I want to see still what had exactly happened that made him go.
Do you know what the problem is with it though? It's like there's not that moment, like usually in stories like this where someone's mind is changed because of a personal thing that happens that makes them change their mind. There's that moment where you see where they realise and they change. I feel like things happen so quick with when they came to get his kid, and I don't know. I never felt like they had that moment where Dick...
I think that's still to come though. I think now it's still very personal for him. He's caring about his kid, but I think it's going to come later where he's like, okay, maybe I was wrong as a whole. I don't think we've reached that yet.
I don't necessarily mean that though. I don't necessarily mean where he realises he's been wrong all these years. I don't mean that. I mean, it just feels like he's not actually had that change yet. He's just like it really does just feel like without even thinking about it. Oh yeah, it's my kid now, so of course I'm going to do this. It doesn't feel like he had like an emotional moment where it hit him.
I think that's kind of the point.
It's human nature.
The minute it's like it is his kid, so he's just jumped into it. He's just snapped into action. He hasn't thought about it yet.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. It makes him really hypocritical. It makes him kind of unlikable almost because he is just kind of going back on his word at a moment's drop without even thinking about it.
Yeah, well, and that's why I feel like Corey and Wally now are there, and I feel like he's not going to budge. He's going to be like, yeah, I had to. I couldn't have you guys. Look at you guys now running around like you're some force, and then we'll see. Like, no, he's only doing this for his kid, who I can't remember his name right now. Jake, and that's the reason that he's doing this all. So, and it's not about, he still thinks, power should be shut down, but not my kids. Like, that's, yeah. So I'm really liking it, especially because it's kind of heavy-handed, but not really. Like, I feel like it could easily have gone to Secret Empire. Like, hey, look how bad Nightwing is. And I was worried that's what it was going to do. Like, how bad did it get that he sold out? But it really hasn't, because he's like you said, that scene with Brady, he goes from Dick Grayson, leader of the Crusaders, to Nightwing.
Yeah. Also, this made it a bit clearer to me that, him getting rid of the powers wasn't just killing them all instantly. It was just getting rid of the powers to begin with. And,
and we saw how he treated Dr. Light. He was like, man, you got to take your medicine. And I still don't think it's right, but he's not like this mustache twirling dude, that was just like, yeah, I'm going to take over the world by taking out all the powers. And
it's layered and realistic, which is what makes it scary.
Yep, exactly.
I never noticed her hair was pink at the end before.
Ow.
I just never noticed.
This is my favorite moment on the show, though, that Pete's not... That clearly, this is somebody we should know, and he was just like, oh, it's some lady leading a resistance. Like, I love it.
I'll be honest, all cards on the table, I'd forgotten this came out this week. I told Matt this before we recorded.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I need to rush and get it read before we start. I rushed this right before we started the show, so I may have just got to the end page and quickly, oh, I'm done, right, fine, time to go.
Definitely didn't actually look at this page.
No, I remember looking at the flash and thinking, oh, I bet that's Wally.
You glanced, you didn't look.
Yeah. I was in a rush. Okay, what do you want from me?
More than that.
Yeah, she's in purple,
Peace.
has the same color hair, and the
The
green
eyes. It's
Look,
like,
But
look.
it's not-
She's not showing skin. I'm used to her having like less clothing than not. Okay.
That's
No,
that's the
it's-
Lobdell defense, and how dare you, sir?
the bits under the purple, the Under Armour stuff, is orange as well.
All right, fine. What do you want from me? What you?
And clearly, she's not brought up, in the flashback about Kate, at their wedding,
Yeah, that wasn't a seed at all.
No.
All right, give me peace. All right, we can move on now. But basically, yeah, I think that's just fine. I am still kind of enjoying what it's doing for the most part. I just, it's funny because Matt was like, "Oh, this is the issue where it's become what it is for me," whereas I was like, "That's probably the one I enjoyed the least out of the three." But I mean,
Oh man.
I'm really digging this book.
It's more about the subtext and what I'm putting into it, probably anything, and it could
Yeah.
all fall apart in the next issue. But
He might have enjoyed it more if he'd realised at the end that this is actually a Teen Titans story now.
yeah,
maybe I don't know. I don't know. I think it's because like so far they've still not justified why he did what he did. And I think that's still lingering for me. So the more it goes on, and the more it doesn't give me that, like the disconnect keeps kind of being there. But hopefully it'll hit. Like maybe when they actually finish the story, I'll feel more at peace with it. But hey, so that'll take us on at least slightly to the DC House of Horror #1, which is the sort of Halloween one shot they put out this week, which I was going to read until Matt said the following to me. He said, I read the first two stories and then put it down. I'm never looking at it again. And I went, well, that's not motivating me to go and read it.
yeah. So when they did the Christmas special last year, they were all stories that might not have been in continuity, but that's fine. But they all had like characters acting like themselves. It was a Batman story, and it was a Superman story, a Green Lantern story. The first two I read were Superman and Wonder Woman, and I'll say this, inspired. Because the first story is little baby Kal-El coming to Earth, but he's some kind of alien creature who instantly kills Jonathan Kent, leaving Martha at home.
Well, God,
So
just
it's
pause.
Elseworlds.
Let's just pause right here. If there's one thing you want to do right at the very start of your story to piss off Matt Sculthorpe, it's have Superman be evil as a baby and kill Jonathan Kent.
But it's not even like... I felt like they were trying to do the Trilogy of Terror Zuni doll, kind of, to it. But it was just so ham-fisted and not scary or creepy. It was just like, well, if you're going to do this, make it good. Don't just throw this together. Especially Keith Giffen, who plotted all of these. Like, that dude can do a lot of things. And just, it centers on Martha, and she's trying to get a hold of Jonathan, who's dead, because he wanted to go check what landed in the field. And then this alien, follows her and chases her around the farmhouse until she's trying to make an escape, and he burns her up with the heat vision and then flies off to go terrorize other things, and that's the end of the story. I was like, okay, that was rough. But
I kind of wish I'd read this now.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, if you guys want to spend the money on it like I did, then go ahead.
That's what'll probably stop me, because I don't want to spend the money on it.
Well, here's the thing, like, the second story is the one that's drawn by Evely, and as we all know, Matt's favourite story, our favourite issue of Wonder Woman was issue 8, which was the one that was drawn by Evely.
Yep. And the story here, I think, is good, but maybe in, like, a horror anthology that's not DC-based, because it's mostly silent, which, is the strength of the artist here. It's about these girls that try to summon an Amazonian ghost, because they're all about girl power. And one of them gets possessed by it and then goes on a killing spree. And then at the end, you actually see that she has been possessed by the spirit. And that's it. That's how it ends. Her looking into the mirror. And again, it's not creepy or scary. It is interesting. It would have been cool in like a horror anthology to build around.
I bought it already, because I was going to buy it, I wanted to read it, and then I just didn't read it yet because of this. I'm flicking through this story now. The ending is it's the end of Twin Peaks season 2. That's the moment that it plays, like, identically.
There you go.
Well, spoilers there for people who've not seen Twin Peaks.
No, I'm not putting anything specific. Just say, the moment is that there. I'm not saying who it was in Twin Peaks or anything like that. Come on.
Still spoilery.
It's
But
not.
yeah, but like,
Matt
I
just
could have
described it
seen
as
this
spoilery.
if, like good horror sometimes is a morality tale, kind of, kind of like DC or DC sci-fi, works that same way. But here it's just like she's just killing everybody to kill. Like it's not just like she's preying on men, that are doing wrong. She kills all of her friends at the Ouija board thing, and she kills a cop and takes his uniform, and it's just I'm just like I'm not gonna waste my time. So I didn't get past that. I mean, it looked great, but I just wasn't digging. I got to the art in the third story, and I was like, nah, I'm okay.
Well,
I'm just looking through. I quite like the art in the third story.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not down with it. It's a little too sketchy for my liking.
It looks early Lemire.
I guess.
well, on that shocking little exchange. Speaking of horror, speaking of books that no one wants to read, that'll take us on to Connor's Red Hood.
Can we, instead of this, can we just go back to shitting on Pete for not getting the ending of Nightwing New Order?
No, this is where I get
That's pretty good.
revenge, because you have to talk about Red Hood and the Outlaws issue 11 now, because...
By the way, this is a spoiler. That's now my favorite panel, just because Pete didn't realize it was Starfire.
That's alright. That's alright. I mean, if it is a Teen Titans story, we've got all the important ones anyway, we don't need anyone else. There's no one missing.
That's all right. This is just par for the course, Pete. That's normal for me. But you not getting Starfire, that's gonna live on.
Alright, okay. Okay. I'll tell you what, next time I read Teen Titans, I'll just be confused every time she's on page. Just to drive it home for you, Matt, alright?
There you go.
I'll be,
There you go.
who's this orange chick? What's going on?
Yeah, that's fine. So tell us about Red Hood there, Connor, because you dug yourself into this hole yourself.
Yep.
So
Yeah, okay. So the first third of this issue is maybe the worst this book has ever been.
that's hefty praise.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, it gets better because it's better than that. So credit where it's due, I guess. No, the first 8 pages or so are just dialogue, so much awful dialogue, and it's basically one side of this civil war. The general was blaming the woman that was dead that came back to life because of the bow with Artemis's friend, and then she's blaming the general, and they basically go, "Well, we'll have to fight then."
Matt,
That takes 8 pages.
Matt, I love that he expects us to remember what happened in the last issue, so that
I
any of this has context whatsoever. I'm like, yeah, there's Civil War, yeah, there's a general, someone came back to life, yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, I don't remember when I start reading it. I'm like, wait, what happened? What's going on? Every time. But yeah, then shock horror. She did have the bow after all. She was lying, and then she shoots the general, and that's cool, I guess. Artemis summons her magic axe, which is apparently called Mistress, which says a lot. That it's we're 11 issues into this, plus the rebirth. Did this have a rebirth issue?
Yep, it did.
Right. So 11 plus the rebirth, and I'm only just learning the name of her axe. That is the magic axe that she can just summon. And this actually really confused me.
Big gigantic axe.
The big gigantic axe, because I thought I remembered from before, like, the axe kind of came to her Thor style. But here it seems to just appear in her hand. Like, I don't know if this is just a clunky bit of the art or something. Like, she's standing there, she hasn't got anything, and then she puts her hand out, and she has the axe in her hand. Like, it's just there. It doesn't come from anywhere. Just, I don't know.
Either you misread it before when you saw what was going on in the art, or this time it is just like a mistake in the art and it looks kind of weird or whatever.
Like I say, I'm not going to entirely blame this on the art because that might have been on me. But it threw me when I was reading it.
Hey, sometimes we don't realise when the militant chick at the end of an issue is actually Starfire. So you know what? It's okay, Connor. I forgive you.
No, that's still not.
No, that's way worse than me going, oh, hey, 6, 7 months ago, did that fly towards her or did it appear? There's a difference.
Shut up and talk about Red Hood.
Fine. Bizarro appears, he smashes through the mountain and smashes it on top of her.
What you do?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, this is maybe some of the best part of the issues because the dialogue goes away for quite a bit and you just have some nice action, which, that's all down to the artist anyway, so it's fine. And as I always say, yeah, art's pretty good.
Yeah, it's Dexter Soy on art, just for the record. I never told you that at the start of this.
No. God, this is a shambles of a section.
Well, it's a shambles of a book too.
Yeah, it's just a bit. Yeah.
Wait, I just want to know how many people are out there reading this when Superwoman's getting canceled, but Red Hood's still
too many
going.
Clearly.
Hey, some people legitimately like Red Hood. I see people on Twitter and stuff talking about how much they like Red Hood now.
I'm in a Facebook group where one person says this is the best book DC puts out.
I'm never allowed in there, am I?
No, no, you're not.
Yep.
No.
Thought so.
Very much not.
Thought so.
But yeah, God. Anyway, so she shoots the magic bow at Artemis and she blocks it with her axe because this is where I got really confused. Now, I'm convinced this isn't something I've missed. So the axe defends her because it's something to do with it being the metal. She has a metal guardian. And I'm like, is this supposed to be a reference to, metal that's going on? Or is this just something I've missed?
Too far back.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, I don't know. I really don't.
I don't think it is. I just think Artemis is such a problematic character, judging from what I've listened to. Because she's meant to be Wonder Woman, but she's not, at least Jason has a relationship that we know of with Bruce.
Yeah.
And even Bizarro with Superman. But I feel like Artemis, this version at least of her, doesn't have any
Bizarro. Part of Bizarro is defined by his lack of proper relationship with the Superman character. So that works.
Right, but I just feel like Artemis, at least this version, isn't the one that we're accustomed to. It's like her second in command and whatnot. So.
No, and then so Jason pulls out some magic swords that he got from, and I quote, a gift from the Assassin's Guild. That helped me after I came back from the dead. I was like, was that supposed to be the League of Assassins? I don't remember. Or was there something else called the Assassin's Guild?
It sounds like a thing.
I don't recall. But anyway, these magic swords that they only work against magic things, and they have to draw power from your soul. And seems weird. But he takes he takes a few stabs, and then he's like, well, no, I'm too weak. Bizarro comes in, does some smashing, looks pretty good. Artemis picks up the bow and it's like, oh, I can use this, even though the whole thing was only one person supposed to be able to use it, and it was supposed to be this other chick that they're fighting. And she's like, well, I guess I can use it now. It's cool. So then I'm gonna go an actual good page, good, not just for this book, good.
Brace yourself, Matt. Brace yourself.
So
the set's a bit wrong. So she shot the other woman with the arrows, and she's kind of got the power of Ra is kind of exploding from inside her, and she's gonna just explode basically. And then we get a page which has absolutely no dialogue whatsoever, not a single caption box, silent. It's beautiful.
What's on the page?
But you recognize that there was no captions on there, right? You got that automatically. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's actually, to be fair, it's actually a good page. It's Bizarro kind of going down and picking up the body and flying her up into space, and so she can explode. And there is a gorgeous panel of him in a silhouette against the sun. So obviously he just looks like Superman carrying this. It looks really good, to be fair.
I had a soft spot for Bizarro. That's why I can't read this book, because I don't want to know what.
You don't want to accidentally like things.
Well, not just that. Lobdell's kind of the perfect person to write a backward Superman, right?
Yeah, somehow. But no, this page is actually that single page with no words where it's just the art doing. I mean, it has Artemis there crying because she's killed, like this person again who was like her best friend or whatever. But I can ignore that panel. The rest of the panels with Bizarro.
This emotional scene, this emotional moment for Artemis, which is maybe like the big emotional crux of the issue. I'm going to ignore that page. That panel is whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at something else.
That's fine. I get it, but I don't care about Artemis, and I don't care about that. But the actual imagery of Bizarro lifting her up and going up into space, and this explosion, is really well done. So credit where it's due, which is presumably none whatsoever to Lobdell.
Hey, Lobdell wrote a pretty decent movie, so
which always surprises me.
His stock has been up in my number. Happy Death Day, fun Groundhog Day horror movie that's out in the theaters just now. I recommend it if you like that kind of thing.
Yeah. Anyway, they just have the little wrap up, the traditional, heart to heart after the mission between them. Oh. But then Bizarro comes back down and something's wrong, and then it turns out, well, apparently he's dead. He's definitely not. It's this other kid that's run one of the refugees has gone. He's run up to him and has gone. Help! His heart's not beating. He's dead. I'm going. Is his heart supposed to be beaten? Is Bizarro?
I
don't actually know.
I have no idea.
If they tell me, his heart's not supposed to beat, then I kind of buy it. But either way, he's lying there, spread out, and supposedly dead. That's the end of the issue.
Is that the end of the arc, or is this?
It is the end of the arc. Okay. Thank God. The next arc's actually a Bizarro arc.
Oh well.
So might be easier to get through.
Count your lucky tunes.
There you go.
That said, if it's just because Bizarro's dead and it's about Bizarro, then, and I don't actually have Bizarro
if he was flying through the sun, I think it has a negative effect on him.
See, he didn't get up to the sun. That's the thing. He just took a out of orbit.
Huh. I don't know. Because that's the plot of All-Star Superman, is he got too close and overloaded. So I wonder if that arc, if maybe he took in too much yellow radiation in it,
Yeah, no, it could be.
And for him being Bizarro naturally the opposite of what solar power usually does to him.
Yeah. I don't know.
We'll find out though, because Connor's going to be reading it and he can tell us what it's going to be.
But I'm honestly happy that there was a single page that I liked. It's the first page in this entire series that I've gone, that was a good page.
That's cool.
There you
Still,
go.
I'm never going to see it, but that's cool.
David, your Patreon money was well spent this month, and apparently, because Connor actually liked the page.
Hey.
I mean, but if he's doing it just to torture Connor, then it kind of backfired because he found something he liked.
No, the first third of this was worse than any of the rest of the
it was balanced. He got one good page because the first third of it was like painful to get through. Yeah, okay.
It was atrocious.
Okay, I can see how it's going. Well, I guess that'll take us on to all of our end of episode stuff, our picks of the week, best panel, page, cover, art. I said page. We never do page. I don't know why I said page.
Because I was talking about the best page.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. And obviously our top 5 books of the week. That is what we do here at the end of the episode. So we always start with best panel / moment of the week. I'm putting it because sometimes we'll pick a few panels that go together. Yeah. So I'm just sort of naming it more accurately as to what we actually pick. So I guess I'll pick on Connor first. What was your panel of the week?
It's the final panel of Batman the Merciless.
I thought I was going to say Detective Comics here so you could be smug. I was like, it's the last page.
That's what I thought too.
I really thought about it. Even when I was saying that, I was like, which one do I go with? But no, I've got to be honest. As much as I do love that Pham, so I get to be smug as shit. that was a better moment. It was a better image.
Okay, Matt.
Mine's from Nightwing: The New Order.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it's that one that it's the Batcave full of people just because that shouldn't happen, and that's how you know you're in a dark reality. That stuff's gone bad. Is there's lines of people working their way, and then just the way the art progresses with him hopping the railing and doing the Nightwing thing down. It was, I like that a lot.
Okay. My favourite panel is the final page of Nightwing: The New Order, because I pulled the biggest ruse ever, and everyone got a good laugh out of it.
Yes.
You're a liar.
I bet I can guess. Pete's actual panel of the week?
Yeah.
Go on,
I
guess.
bet I can guess.
Go on, guess.
Yeah, it's from Batgirl.
Yeah, it's the kiss.
You think I'm going to be so obvious, don't you?
Yeah.
You.
Or it has
No, I'm
something. Yeah,
not.
no, it's that one for sure.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to pick that because everyone's expecting me to pick the.
He was going to
Kiss.
until I said this.
No. I thought about it earlier and I thought, no, I'm not
He's
doing that.
quickly going, no, quick, get back up.
That's
He's stalling
too.
for time.
That's too obvious, is what that is. I actually, honestly, I think I'm going to go with Teen Titans with Emmy tickling Goliath. That brought a great smile to my face because I expect the kiss between them. We've set up that flashback story in Batgirl to have those kind of moments. This was like an unexpected thing. I was not expecting Emmy and Goliath to have such a cute little thing going. So no, that is my pick of the week. So have it. So best cover of the week. Matt, you can go first.
So,
Whoa.
That was horrific.
Whoa.
Brother, Sonic disruptor there, huh?
I'm going to have to edit the volume on that
I mean,
for the listeners.
I think that one might have been the Murder Machine, frankly.
Brother Eye and Murder Machine and Ultron are all skull effing each other, and that's what came out of it.
I just remember hearing somebody describe dubstep as two robots having vigorous sex. So that's it's a tough pick because there's so many good covers this week. But I think I'm gonna have to go with Batman the Merciless, just because it's got the really cool lightning strike, and he just looks
It's a good cover.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I think I'm actually going to go with Nightwing the New Order on this one, actually. I do like
it's a good one too.
the poster vibe. You got Tim in his Red Robin outfit, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
His actual Red Robin outfit, not the New 52 or his current thing, which is just the Robin outfit with the two R's. So I dig that. And like you say, it feels like a propaganda poster, which I think that's good. It's the one that jumps out as me as having a more distinct look compared to the rest, which all just look like sort of typical comic book covers. So that's my pick.
And the men and women are meant to walk, not fly. I think that's such a propaganda, especially in this world where powers are outlawed.
Yeah. Connor.
Yeah, no, I've picked some Nightwing New Order covers in the past based on that same reasoning. So I'm going to shake it up a little bit this one. I'm going to go with Batgirl. I just love the way that the red and oranges against the blue and purples. It's so nice.
Can't argue with you too much. So best art of the week then. Next up I suppose I'll go first for that. I think
Because you don't really need to ask me, Matt.
Oh yeah, so Matt, you're picking Manapul for Merciless.
Yeah,
Connor, you're picking Manapul for Merciless. Okay, right. So we've got your two picks. My pick. I think we go Wonder Woman actually. I think Lupacchino on Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman was in that for me, and Teen Titans quite fan.
Yeah, Teen Titans was the other pick. I was wrestling over Wonder Woman and Teen Titans, but I think I'm gonna go with Wonder Woman overall. So. No. Alright, so that'll take us on to top 5 books of the week. Connor, your background to being first. So
Okay. So first up is Detective. It was a great issue.
Yep.
Second, I'll give it to Batgirl.
Oh. Weird.
Third, Batman the Merciless. 4 be Nightwing New Order. 5 I don't know. I'm not super big on any of the rest I've read. I'll go with Action, I guess.
Oh, that's enthusiastic, right? I've got to go with Action, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Action, Flash, or Wonder Woman, and
Well, so I guess it'd be fair to say this was a so-so week for Connor then, in terms of the DC books.
well, no. My top 4, I really like those top 4.
Yeah, but I feel like if
It's
you can't fill it the top 5, and it's a so-so week overall.
It's not just not that many books to begin with, though, is there?
I guess, says the one who complains there's too many books.
No, but that's what I mean. Out of the the 6 that I had,
Yeah.
out of the 6 that I had, I really like 4 of them. So overall, I'd say no, it was a good week. It just there wasn't a 5th one that I liked as much.
All right, Matt, what's your top 5 of the week?
So my number 1 is Detective Comics as well. Number 2 is Batman the Merciless. Number 3 is Teen Titans. Number 4 is Nightwing the New Order, and number 5 is Action Comics.
Okay. My top 5. My number 1 is Batgirl.
You couldn't let me have it.
No shame. No, Batgirl, I'm taking. My number 2 is Detective Comics. My number 3 is Teen Titans. And my number 4 is The Flash. And number 5, Batman the Merciless at number 5. So, that's my top 5.
It's good.
There you go. Yeah. You picked the last issue of Batgirl as your pick, I recall. And the only reason why I remember that is because you missed that episode and you sent it to me, but you sent it to me too late, so it never got on the show.
Oh no, that's fine. I don't have a problem with Batgirl being picked. It's my number 2. I just you did that just so Detective Comics wouldn't win, so I couldn't be super smug.
I pick Detective Comics all the
Conspiracy.
time.
Well, you didn't do it this one.
Oh, it's the Brother Eye issue.
Exactly. It's a conspiracy.
Yeah, I just liked it because it was a good issue. I'm not even
Well,
trying to be smart.
maybe if you hadn't made fun of me so much for the New Order snafu, maybe I'd have been a bit
You
kinder.
deserve to.
You deserve it still.
Well, just there'll be consequences for your insubordination. That's all I'm saying. Speaking of
Now he's
consequences,
starting to sound like Nightwing, the new
here's
Order.
a couple of consequences there on the screen. Some
Pete
buttons have been
loves
pressed.
Dick, hates Starfire.
I think that needs Pete's button on screen as well.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No. You two are the ones causing trouble, so you two get the buttons.
It's fine.
Hey, what am I saying? I'll put it up.
Just,
It's
I
fine.
was gonna say, I distinctly remember when this button was introduced. The rule was when we say it goes on, and now he's kind of going, oh, maybe not.
Oh, well, I'm cool. I like my button. I don't even care.
Note
Leave it
to
up.
self: change Matt's to the old one, just so he's upset about it. All right, buttons away. So that leaves me to tell you what's coming next week and what books you should be looking forward to. So we have another one shot. We have Batman the Devastator number 1 coming next week. We have the next part of the Bats Out of Hell crossover, which is Justice League 32. We have Batman 34, Superman 34, Green Lanterns 34, Green Arrow 34, Nightwing 32, Deathstroke number 25. And then on top of that, we have the second issue of the miniseries Batman White Knight. So that should be interesting. And then we also have a couple of minis that are starting next week that we may or may not try to see if they're any good. That is Dead Man number 1 and Black Lightning Cold Dead Hands number 1. So those are there as well. So there you go. Also out next week, but we're not covering, our Cyborg 18, Harley Quinn 31 and Bane Conquest number 7. It's also worth mentioning the first part of the 2-part graphic novel series Batman Dark Prince Charming is also out. So
Also, I just checked. It's not what's his name on Justice League. It's Venditti and Williamson.
Yep.
yeah.
So the crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah. No hit.
Just I mean, even though it was Justice League, and I was like, I know it's part of the crossover. I was just a little bit.
Oh, it's not
Cautious.
Hitch, yeah. You don't have to worry
Yeah,
about
yeah.
being Hitch, yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
And it's got
Fine.
sharp on art, which I didn't realize. So I'm looking forward to that now.
Yeah, I think he's doing the is he doing the Hawkman one shot later on as well?
I think so.
Yeah.
I saw him tweeting out some Hawkman related imagery, so I think that makes sense. I'm curious to what he's going to end up on after this crossover's done, or after this event's done. Like, what's he going to end up on a regular basis? I'm
Yeah,
curious.
it's got to be somewhere. And
Baby, Dark Side.
I'll be down for
Ez.
it. I'm missing his art though.
I'm missing his art. Yeah, he's really good. So hopefully he's working away at something that he's got. Maybe he's got a writer in line for a book that they can't talk about yet, or
Could be.
something. Or maybe just
Could be
going to join
something that
another book.
spins out of could be something that spins out of upcoming events.
Yeah,
Doomsday.
or maybe he's just in line to replace an artist on another book as the regular. I don't know.
Could be.
Maybe whoever's going to because Robinson's on for more than one arc, but he's not the permanent writer. I don't think so. I'm
I
wondering.
don't know. Because I think they're broken up. I think there's like an alternating arc thing. Right? Because he's not doing the follow-up arc.
Say that again without the yawning.
Sorry. He's not doing the arc after this Jason arc, but I think he's back for one after that. So it's like an alternating thing.
So
Don't quote me on that, though.
Which basically says to me that they've still not found a proper writer to stick on it. As this is the next writer on it who's going to do a run.
They want someone big because it's Wonder Woman, and they're following Rucker. They want to make a show of it, so they're waiting for someone to free up.
I'm just imagining it right now. Didio's outside Mark Wade's house with the boombox. He's playing music. He's like, "I'm so sorry, Mark. Please come back to DC."
Oh, hey, he's doing Cap, so that'd be pretty cool if he could pull Cap and Wonder Woman off.
but no, so that's the stuff that's coming next week. So it's still the lighter week, but there's a couple of miniseries to try. I'm probably going to try out the issue ones just to see if they're worth sticking with. Of course, we're looking forward to White Knight #2, though. I'm really excited about that book after that first issue. So yeah, that's what's coming next week. We're kind of wrapping up here. So of course, as always, let us know what you thought of the books in the comments below. From this week, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Support and all the rest of it. If you really want to support us, of course, you can have it at patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. You get some bonuses, including the monthly bonus episode, which covers a trade or a collection or something like that. This month is Batman: The Long Halloween, which we have pushed off until it hits on right at the end of the month. So it's not up yet, but it's coming.
It's coming on Halloween.
It's coming on Halloween. Yeah, we're recording it in 2 days, and then it's going up on Halloween. That is the plan. I've read half of it so far on the build up to this. We're actually currently reading it right now, so that's coming. And some other stuff. Of course, there will be a vote for something to do in week 5 next month. We're just deciding what the options are, but that's coming as well. So that's stuff for patrons. But you can also just give us $1 as well in the lower tier if you just want to support a little bit, and that's fine.
We just give us $1.
Well, no, I'm just because I don't never feel bad if you want to support us, you feel it feels cheap to just give you no, it's fine. Every dollar counts. So every dollar's fantastic.
All the podcasts I listen to are jumping to Patreon, so that's it for extra content. So I like to think we're ahead of that curve, like way ahead.
I don't think we're that ahead of the curve, but yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like a lot of the ones that I listen to a lot are jumping up, but they're more on the $5 for extra range. So like $1, that's not much.
Well, to be fair, all of our extras for the comic stuff is in the $5 tier.
I know. Pete, you just can't let things go. I'm just saying, $1's fine.
I can't let things go! I'll never hear the end of this stupid last page of New Order.
Yeah, I forgot about it until you did. Guys, don't forget, he didn't realize that was Starfire. Starfire who? That's his new button.
No. Because I understand who Starfire is. This is not the same thing. I just didn't recognize her with the short hair and the military
That's
suit.
all it takes.
So
That's all it
he
takes.
lives in the
haircut.
DC universe. He's the person that doesn't realize that Clark Kent and Superman are the same. Like, he puts on the glasses, sees it's a completely different person.
A little haircut, and he's like, "Who the hell's this?"
Look, the colouring did not indicate her orangeness enough. She looked close in tone to Wally. All right.
Oh, so you only see her skin color, huh?
She's orange. She's freaking orange.
She's Tamaranian. She's not orange, thanks.
And what colour are Tamaranians? They're orange.
Hey, man, you're just
I
painting
think
with
we
the
should
broad
refer
brush
to
here.
it as tangerine, just because it's closer.
I love my favorite part of the podcast. Is like I didn't recognize her with all the clothes on.
I stand by that statement.
He's been conditioned.
Yes, and Lobdell's ruined his brain.
Oh man.
It's like he's ruined Connor's. Connor, just don't get a haircut because he might not recognize you.
Nah, I'll recognize that evil anywhere. Don't you worry.
Okay, I gotta go, guys. So let's wrap this up.
Yeah, I've got some pizza to go have.
I need a
I want to go watch Stranger Things and then maybe play
that's
some
smart.
Mario.
Do that.
Yeah. So here, this has been Comics from the Multiverse, episode 75. I want to say this one is.
Well, we had a milestone issue and Pete forgot who Starfire was.
That's why it's a milestone. It's not just 75.
I didn't forget who Starfire was. I didn't recognize that person was Starfire. There's a difference. There's a goddamn
I'm not
difference.
sure which is worse, forgetting who Starfire is or not
You
recognizing.
remember the Friends episodes were all named after that one? This is that one Pete didn't recognize Starfire.
Just like a month ago, Matt didn't realise we're in Earth negative 52, and he had been on a whole tirade about how it didn't fit into
It was a little bit different,
continuity.
Pete.
Like a dash.
Yeah, thank you.
That looked like
And if
Starfire.
you've noticed, since then they've moved it up a little bit in each one. So, DC fans, you're welcome.
You know what? First of all, shut up. Secondly, I am positive you have had a fluff at some point over the course of these
I'm
75
sure.
episodes.
I don't run from them and try to rationalize them. I just own it and go.
I need to go
that's what
back
I
and
did.
find them. I need to go back and find everything you've ever done that sounded stupid and bring it all back up.
Well, be prepared to put a lot of work in.
Yeah,
Pete, 'cause
it's
there's
too much
a lot
work.
there.
I can't. Yeah, I can't do it. It's too much.
I like to think I'm the Charlie Day of this podcast, and there's just too many idiot moments to string together.
But without the charm.
Yeah. That too. Let's get out of here, guys. Let's take this home.
All right, this has been Cults of the Multiverse. I did all the plugging things already. So always remember,
If Starfire gets a haircut, Pete doesn't recognize her.
always remember what Starfire looks like, and always remember as well to never get lost in the Speed Force.
Connor Kent. He's real.